honest, I've got a power bank in my bag.
Get a power bank. If not, I've got a power bank in my bag as well.
No, I know, but we've used that to power the gallery. No, but is in like something to plug it into. What do you mean a power bank? Yeah.
Actually.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Okay, that's fine. We were meant to be on holding screen. Anyway, for another 2.5 minutes.
You can roll it now and get somebody to pre-show now. Get someone else to do that.
Well, no, we've still got 2.5 minutes until we were going to go into pre-show anyway.
Oh, cool. There you go. So you're on time.
Cool. All right. So if we're good to go, then I'll keep you guys up, and I'll let these guys deal with Nighthawk, and we'll do pre-show from there. All right. Cheers, mate. Speak to you later. Right, ladies and gents, on the studio downstairs. We are currently filming now, apparently, on stream, which I just need to confirm because Steve has done it for me. I can't see it at the moment.
We are on YouTube Live.
We're on YouTube Live. You check the walks in. Smashing. Alright, so we are.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coventry BUCS Park Arena here in the West Midlands. I'm Matt Walker, joined as ever by Carl Walkershaw. Afternoon, Carl.
Afternoon, Matt. Exciting to be here.
Absolutely. Fantastic conditions here in Coventry for this All-Star game, this GB All-Star game for BUCS. So we're going to be kicking off at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The players have just been introduced behind us on the field. And while we are waiting for that kickoff, Carl, tell us a little bit about this fixture this afternoon.
It's had a rich history. I mean, it's been going since 1993, Matt, which is a very long time indeed. It's gone through various iterations. It was went through a bit of a stagnant period, but games continue to be played. And then in 2019, it was revived and sponsored by Football America. And we had that classic encounter between Jason Scott and Wayne Hill that we commentated on here, you'll remember. And then we had the COVID break, but it's back, which is really good to see. It's in the same place, it's in the same arena. A good crowd turned up today, and we're really looking forward to an exciting end to the season. And traditionally, it's always been that point at which the students kind of transition from their university football into their senior ball. So it comes right at the end of the BUCS season, following on from that magnificent national finals that we had. And we're really excited to see the talent on show, and there's going to be lots today.
And this venue as well, Carl, we've been talking to Wayne Hill just before the game, who's organised this whole event today, and I think this could be something that we see a lot more of in the future with American football in the Midlands.
I think these All-Star games are a great opportunity for players to showcase their talent, and there's so many different pathways now that players can go on, whether they're going to senior football or CFL trials or even NFL trials. It's a real opportunity for them to showcase what they can do, and of course they do it for on-site production, so we get some good footage of them that they're able to show to talent scouts all over the world, and it gives them that excellent pathway, doesn't it, Matt?
Absolutely, and this particularly is the GB All-Star game, so even though in the BUCS system there are scholars involved from all different, obviously the states primarily, but also different areas of the world, this is primarily showcasing today GB athletes, Great British homegrown athletes. And the process for that, there are over 400 trialists that put their names forward for this process. And the trials took place in January, with then development squads being selected by March. And then in April, those squads were filtered down to the squads you see behind us today, Carl. And there are a number of, lots of different representative universities on show this afternoon.
Yeah, if you look down the list, it's really interesting to see. So in the south, as you would expect, UWE are the top represented team in the south, the national finalist winners. Obviously they have 8 players represented here today. Then you've got University of Exeter that have 6 players, University of Birmingham that have 3 players, Brunel University representing with 4 players, and then a list of other universities coming in with 2 or 1 players. They have a full squad, the south, of 47 players, and then it's a coach's dream. If you look at the stats, they have 9 offensive linemen, 8 linebackers, 7 DBs, so you're really going to see a lot of talent from a lot of different positions.
And not only is it an opportunity for the players this afternoon, Carl, but there are a number of coaches, the depth of coaches this afternoon. Some young coaches are on show here today, really making a transition from playing to coaching. But at the top of that coaching tree are our head coaches. And we managed to catch up earlier on with both head coaches, but we started with Paul Sherratt. I'm here with head coach from the North, head coach Paul Sherratt. Afternoon, Paul. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to this?
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. I hope you're going to put on a show for us.
We will do our best.
How did you find yourself heading up the North today then?
So what Wayne did, because it's kind of the relaunch of GB Students, was he just got staff from GB Students and put them into various positions on the North and the South. So yeah, I was lucky enough to be head coach. So.
And what does this game mean for the coaches? Obviously for the players, it's an exhibition game, but it obviously shows where they are in the sort of British university game, moving into the football season. But from a coaching perspective, what does this mean for you and your guys on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, for the players, it's all about development. It's the same for coaches as well. So, looking forward to GB Students. We obviously, with COVID, we've kind of lost some of the networks that we had. So it's a chance to see some of the younger guys, look at them perhaps for the future of any of the GB programs, give them a bit of experience and things like that. So it's good all round, really, I think.
And you talked about GB Students, moving forward, obviously yourself, Wayne, and people involved. What's next on the horizon for GB Students?
Well, there's a lot of things up in the air at the minute, and Wayne's probably a better person to ask. But I think in the short term, it'll be just get the programme back together, run some trials, get the squad practicing, probably with a friendly game in the not too distant future. There's a lot of conversations from BUCS and FISU about what's going to happen with that sort of World Championships. So that's all up in the air, I think. But it's short term, get some friendlies, probably against a European team.
very close to the start of the BAFA National Leagues and kicking off tomorrow. Obviously, some of these guys may all be involved with that. Is this going to be a friendly competition today, or do you expect some real intensity out there?
I don't know you ever get friendly in American football. It's an exhibition game, so I think the guys want to go out there and compete and do their best and all things like that. We're rotating people, so hopefully it doesn't have too much of an impact on the adult season. But, you know, unfortunately, it's all compressed, isn't it? It is what it is. But yeah, we'll try and look after them as best we can.
And are there any particular players to look out there for, a particular sort of style? Have you got a prediction for us, or what the North going to win by?
I don't want to go down the predictions. I think the one thing you can guarantee with All-Star game is it's going to be unpredictable. So, you know, it's all down to who's got the best players, really. Coaches have very little influence. We just give our guys a shot and, you know, see if they make plays, who makes a few mistakes, that sort of thing. So it'll be exciting, probably not from a coaching point of view, but from a spectator point of view.
Well, the weather looks set fair here in Coventry, so we thank you for your time, Paul, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
All right. Delighted to be joined by head coach of the South, Maxwell Pettijohn. Thanks for joining us, Maxwell.
Hi, thanks for having us.
How are you feeling this afternoon? Sun's out?
Yeah, it feels good. It's a good opportunity to see the guys play. It's you know, it's obviously like an exhibition game, but it is also a GB program, so you know, really high standard, hopefully.
How did you get yourself involved with this particular this occasion this afternoon? And in particular, I know you're a head coach elsewhere as well, but how did you get yourself that role this afternoon for the South?
I've got a good relationship with Wayne. Played for him for a long time and was defensive coordinator for the Lions for a little bit when he was still there. And I've been involved in GB programs before. I think my first GB role was like a GA on the adult program, and played for the student program as well. So I think that's how I ended up here.
Talk about the importance for not only BUCS football but for British football about the fact that this game is almost back on the calendar now.
University football is difficult because, in a way, it's kind of like the least important because it isn't a true, you know, junior to adult feeder, which we should have. However, for participation, it's amazing, and for just setting the standards of what a really high-level program can be, GB Students has created a bunch of some of the best players we've had in recent years in British football. So, you know, the opportunity to just be the best we can be in Britain is something which we don't take enough. So this is just another great opportunity for that.
We mentioned just off camera a little bit ago about what type of game this might be, with the fact that they've not had a lot of time to, you know, you guys to coach them together, to practice together. What do you think? Is it going to be a defensive slugfest, or do you see some points being put up this afternoon?
You know, it's hard to know exactly, but we can't be as organised as if it was like a full season team, but the quality of the players is really high. So maybe it'll be a slow start, but it's hard to believe there aren't going to be points scored with the athletes on the field today. You know, plenty of good defenders as well, but just there's so many good players out there, there's got to be some points, you'd think.
And how is it from your perspective working with a different bunch of coaches, you know, obviously people you will know from the Britball community, but actually being on a sideline with them and not only you being able to teach but learning from them as well?
Well, this really was also a process for the coaches as well as the players. We've got a very, very big coaching staff. Like on the South, I think we've got like 20 coaches. And the reason for that is because there are a bunch of players, like I essentially have benefited from knowing Wayne, right? Yeah. Who's, you know, GB Students head coach. But a lot of these guys don't have connections. So the point was to give them an opportunity to be involved with them when they haven't before. We had open interviews with about 45 coaches. We ended up bringing about 20 of them in. Tried to choose a bit of a mixture of universities, people with all different programs and not too many from the same programs. And you know, it's really paid off because some of these guys who didn't have this opportunity to be part of GB Students probably will be in the future because they're great coaches, they're doing great craft, they just haven't got those connections yet.
So it sounds like all in all just a fantastic development opportunity for players, coaches and the Britball community all around.
Hopefully so, and that's the goal.
Well, thank you ever so much for joining them. We hope you have a great afternoon and good luck to the South.
Brilliant, thanks.
All right, thanks very much. Around the country.
Yeah, and there's a lot of coaches on this roster. They've obviously gone through that selection process as well and taken some of the best that are around. I mean, you've got Dale Bottomley, who's a consultant. Obviously, we know him from Leeds Beckett University. This is in the North. Daniel Burton, who's a wide receivers coach. Alex Shallon's the quarterbacks coach for the North. And then on the South, Thomas Casson, linebackers. Sam Chance for quarterbacks. Paul Cooper from University of Birmingham looking after the running backs. There's a whole list of them all. We'll try and bring you some more names as we go through. But it's great to see so many coaches on the field with these players because they get that one-to-one attention from some really great coaches. It's an opportunity for the players to develop even further.
few guys out here, Carl, today that you know very well as well from the Nottingham Trent University Renegades. I'm sure you'll have your eyes peeled on those guys as we move forward, not only this afternoon but into the next BUCS season. And we must mention and give thanks to not only to British American football but to BUCS, that's the British University College Sport, and to Football America for their part in enabling this event to take place today, as we are 8 minutes away from kickoff here in Coventry. What is this sort of game, Carl? Obviously, where players haven't been able to practice that much together, they're kind of getting to know each other. You know, what should we expect as a spectacle from a game like this afternoon?
Well, traditionally, it's been a fairly defensive struggle over the years, and what you've seen is offences with some real flair that have individual players with very good talent that are able to make some great plays, but defences tend to dominate in this game just because it takes a little bit of time for offences to click, for offensive lines to work together, for receivers and for quarterbacks to get on the same page, whereas defences can come out and really just use their skills and sheer force and talent to really make plays and make impacts early on. So they tend to be quite low-scoring games, but you never know, Matt. If an offense gets hot and the other offense responds to it, we could be up for a real high-scoring game.
I've had a significant chat this morning with Wayne Hill, who's the president of BAFA, and he was basically saying, when I asked him the same question, the amount of athletes, pure athletes, are out here, and he kind of said, similar to you, Carl, echoed that defensively would seem to be the way that these games go, but with the amount of athletes that are on the field, he wouldn't be surprised to see some explosive plays and points put up at some point during the afternoon, Carl.
Yeah, and you just never know, because even if those defensive athletes, break through that line of scrimmage, it becomes difficult for offensive line. You've got really athletic quarterbacks, really athletic running backs that can get out of the grasp, and then receivers running free. If there's broken plays, you've got talented players on the field that can make plays, even when those kind of offensive line breaks down. They can still make plays on the field. So you just never know what you're going to get, which is part of the excitement of an All-Star game.
And we have a full 100-yard field here at the BUCS Arena, and we've got the main stand that you can see there in shot at the moment, which is a fantastic facility, and this area is due for development over the next few years, so we could well see, if we're back here with British American football, with British Universities American football as well, we could see an even more enticing sight as you see the squad from the south there warming up on the near sideline as we speak to you. So, Carl, the weather is set. I think conditions are for every opportunity for it to be an offensive explosion. Good for the pass, not too windy out there, a little bit of a breeze, but I think it's looking good underfoot in this artificial surface. Are there any particular things that you're looking out for today, not only from a commentary point of view, but from a coaching point of view?
Well, you're always looking to give an opportunity for those players on the field to really showcase their talent. So I would be looking for kind of trick plays. You would be looking for, vertical plays down the field where athletes can really stretch their speed. On defense, you're looking for some blitzes that can really show the pressure that some of these defensive line and linebackers can get on. And then you're looking for those key one-to-one matchups. One of the things that'll be interesting when you get all-star teams is these players have been eyeing each other up over the season, maybe not ever had an opportunity to play against each other, and then suddenly you get matched up with some of the best receivers, some of the best DBs, running backs, linebackers, in the country, and it gives you a real opportunity to show what you can do against the very top, the elite of the elite in this sport. So those are going to be some exciting matchups to watch, and we'll try and bring you some of those.
I caught up with a couple of the younger coaches from both the North and the South squad before the game as well, and linebackers coach and DB's coach, and they were very, very optimistic and very positive about what their units were going to bring. And equally, the Great Britain under-19 head coach is here. Scott Rowe is in attendance today, and I chatted with him as well about the importance, basically, of the overlap between the universities game and the under-19s programme, and how really American football in this country can, if communication can be a little bit better between all the codes, the sport in general can ultimately grow.
Yeah, and then you've got the GB student plans for next year. They're looking for the identification of first-year players. You've got GB student and all-star trials going on. You've got partnerships being developed between GB students and NFL international player pathways. And Scott Rowe, who you mentioned, is going to be working closely with head coach to identify talent across all programs.
So we just look out into the middle of the field, and we can see the two sets of captains are out there for the coin toss. And we'll shortly see which of these units is going to take possession of the football first. Beautiful day, as I've mentioned, here in Coventry. Two completely full sidelines, as Carl mentioned earlier on. 20-odd coaches on each sideline as well, learning their craft. And the great thing is being able to learn from each other, from different programs, pick up tips, pick up advice. And it appears that the South have won that coin toss as they move into position, and one of the North captains decides he might want to play for the South as he's met those captains. But we've got everything back in place,
and they will take the ball.
And it will be the North receiving as the South deferred to get the football in the second half, as is generally the case these days, Carl. If you win the toss, you generally want to defer.
Kind of that psychological edge, because you say, oh, we don't mind, you know, we'll play it either way, both of our units are ready to go, so why don't you decide? And you also get, obviously you get the kickoff coming to you in the second half, so it means you get a good drive through that third quarter that you can really begin to build some momentum in that second half.
I suppose as well, Carl, with a game like this where you've not had a lot of time to prep, and as you said, offences take a little bit more time to get going than defences, realistically you probably want your defence out there first to set the tone.
In a game like this where you expect dominant defence, you're right, Matt, get that defence on the field and get that really good field position to start with. You can get an early stop with the offence and you stamp your mark early on the game, and hopefully you make something happen on the punt.
So the North back to receive. We've got Joshua Olawatesin of Loughborough University, number 81, back to receive with Jason Sanders from the Sheffield Hallam University. As Thunderstruck booms out over the PA, and we are in for an exciting spectacle. It's an exhibition game, Carl, but I think it'll be anything but exhibition out here.
Well, it'll be a proper, football game with tackling going. It's not like the Pro Bowl exhibition game where players are just kind of coming to the end of the season and gone to Hawaii for a holiday, but there will be some big plays.
So no cuddling going on out here. It'll be ferocious hitting. And the lovely thing, they're all in the red of the North or the blue of the South, but they can wear their own university helmets, which is always nice to see. It gives that little bit of an extra Pro Bowl type feel, even though the football, we know, will be much more competitive. Final preparation underway, just waiting for that clock to tick over. 14:59 on the stadium clock, just out of your view on screen. We are here for a 3 o'clock kickoff at the BUCS Arena in Coventry for this GB All-Stars game 2022.
Don't they look great in that kit, Matt? Kit looks immaculate out there.
Well,
it's great to see them turning up in this way.
Once again, Wayne Hill done an exceptional job all-round organisation and making sure with his team that this is a true spectacle and a great advert for British Universities football. And like we say, all British talent out there on the field on both sides of the gridiron. Here we go then. The referee blows the whistle, and it is the South that will get us underway. The ball is up, and it's a short kick. It's going to land around the 22-yard line, and it's fumbled by the up-back, who just makes a good decision, does Paul Awini of the University of Liverpool. Drops on the ball, and the North are in business from their 22.
Yeah, an inauspicious start, maybe some nerves, but we've got Bailey Mann coming out, quarterback for Loughborough University, who are really highly represented actually today for the North. There's a lot of Loughborough athletes here, I think about 12 or 11 or 12 in total. So we'll see how those athletes get on today.
As you mentioned, Bailey Mann is the man out there for Loughborough. And Bailey, 1,031 passing yards, 14 TDs in only 7 games this year. So some impressive stats from Mann as he gets this first play underway. 2 receivers to the right for him, 1 to the left, and he hands the ball up the middle and is met immediately by the South, Cameron Buggs from Kingston University on the stop.
Billy Elliott getting in there as well from UWE as the defensive lineman. So again, you get that sense that the defense are going to be swarming that line of scrimmage, blitzing early, putting the quarterback under pressure, so they're already behind the sticks.
My first error there. There are 2 number 11s for the South. There's Cameron Buggs, who is a receiver from Kingston, and there is Billy Elliott, as you mentioned, who is that D lineman making the play on first down. Threaten blitz again, do the South, and Mann surveys. Make some last-minute adjustments based on the pressure you can see, and that's going to be, by looks things, a false start on this left side of the line. And it looks like Victor Sugbesan from NTU who's guilty of that false start
False
goal.
start.
Well, we'll just overlook
Offence,
that error, shall we?
5-yard penalty.
Jamin
Remains
Haddad, number
second down.
33 from the University of Southampton, the linebacker that's threatening blitz on both that first and second down. It just feels like there's a bit of nerves in that Red North team that just need to be settled down and let them get into their play, 2nd and 16.
And this is why it's such a benefit to be on defence and be able to win that toss and defer. As the motion man comes and there's a run straight up the middle, and there's a big hole for the back. And he picks up 3-4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 12.
Yeah, just something to settle them down, get a play underway, get some yards. So a good decision on 2nd and long. Just hand the ball off, let's make some yards, and then we can settle our nerves down and get into this 3rd down, 3rd and 11.
Interesting to see whether man goes to the air on this first 3rd and long, or whether he elects to keep the ball on the ground and just try and make sure he does go to the air, and he's got a good time. Nice pocket formed. He's got a man out wide, and reception is made on the far sideline. Made by number 3, I believe, Jason Sanders from Sheffield Hallam.
Yeah, it was, and what a great way to get the sticks moving. So a couple of nerves on 1st, 2nd down, and then they get going on 3rd down with the nice reception of Jason Sanders. And I was impressed by the offensive line there, keeping the 5 blitzing players from that Blue South defence at bay. So lots of time for Bailey Mann to work in the pocket.
And he stepped up into that pocket beautifully as well. He's now got trips to the left on this 1st down play on the 46-yard line. High snap, but he does manage to get it away to his running back. And that running back is number 18, Jamal Alvaranga.
42, Leon Klozovic coming in on the tackle from UWE Bullets and stopping him for no gain there. They slowed him down behind the line of scrimmage, and then Klozovic coming in to make sure he gets nothing.
Alvaranga on screen there, big unit alongside man. And it was just that high snap that halted his progress, really. Not very smooth transition from quarterback to... Oh, and that's looked for a bubble screen for a minute. The intended receiver was Daniel Padley, and man just put that over his head. May have had the opportunity to pick up a few yards had Padley made that catch, but man just overthrew him slightly on 2nd down.
Yeah, I think it was Billy Elliott, who's a very tall defensive lineman, coming in just getting his arms up from UWE, which means that the quarterback there, Daniel, the wide receiver rather, just had it scoot over his head. Daniel Padley couldn't get anything. Couldn't get high enough to bring that one down.
So man converted 3rd and 12 previously. He's now faced with the 3rd and 10. With 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, a slot on the right as well, and there's pressure coming, and he puts the ball up for grabs, looking for Sanders, and a great play made there by number 19 for the South, I believe. That's Mehdi Gassem from Hertfordshire.
Yeah, and again we called Billy Elliott's name right in the quarterback's face there, and it was Mehdi Gassem on the other end, so they play that really well on 3rd down, the pressure from the defensive lineman. Quarterback does a good job getting it away, and then great defensive back play as well to bat that ball down.
So I think realistically, from the North perspective there, you've got to say that's a relatively successful drive. They've picked up a 1st down. They've managed to move the ball through the air. 1 completion to Jason Sanders. They've got the running game kind of going, and hopefully this punt will end up pinning the South back. As the kick is up, and it's a high kick. Comes down out of the sun, and the sun was in his eyes, and that's muffed, and that's going to be a recovery by the North. And that is how quickly a punt and special teams can affect the swing of a game.
Wow, I don't know what happened there. Akwasi Benahan, who was back, Brunel University running back for the South, number 23, and initially he just couldn't see the ball and dropped the ball, but then he seemed to look to the sideline as if to say, oh, well, did I have my hands up? It was a fair catch. I don't know what he was signalling. But the Red were all over that one, and that's, yeah, as you say, punts can make a big difference in this game, and field position so important early on. They're at their 22-yard line.
You can see where the shadows are, Carl. He was looking directly into the sun there, and so realistically, in this first quarter, then the punt then becomes a weapon. You know, stick that ball up high, get it coming out of the sun, and you never know. Now the North are back in business just outside the red zone, 1st down. Man with trips to his left, and one of those runners, Benjamin Sykes, comes in motion. The ball is handed off up the middle, and there'll be a pickup of 3 on 1st down. And that's that man once again, Jamal Alvaranga.
Yeah, it's a good run on 1st down. It puts them in a nice manageable position, 2nd and 6.
So I think the North will be much more pleased with the opening gambit at the moment. And not only that, but it means the South defenders stay on the field. As a defensive unit, you always want to get off as quick as you can as man goes to the air and hits his man. in the slot for another positive pickup. Looks like Henry Rowland, his tight end from Loughborough University.
Yeah, there was decent coverage there. They got immediately on the tackle, but that's just one of those comeback plays. The quarterback looks immediately to his tight end, who turns around on that quick hook pass and hits him in a nice, with good timing. So it brings up a third and about 1.5 yards.
Henry Rowland, second-year player from Loughborough. 10 TDs this season of 550 yards. Ball handed off once again by Mann. I think that's going to be shy of that first down. Alvarenga once again is the man tasked with carrying the football, and it is going to be 4th and 1.
Be interesting here to see what they call, whether they come out with a field goal or just try and shove it down their throats. Paul Sharrett, who's the head coach for the North, is an offensive line coach by speciality, so he'll want to dominate on this 4th down.
Interesting though, not coming up. They're looking to maybe see if they can make the South jump. That's an aggressive defence. You saw them blitzing a couple of times, and I think Mann did try the hard count, and then the South very disciplined not to jump, and now Sherritt is going to bring on his special teams units.
I don't know how serious they were about that, because they weren't there for that long, were they? Bailey Mann just kind of stands there and then does couple of hard counts and looks over to the sideline, so fairly obvious for the defence that they were trying to get them offside. And
also from the actual formation, when Mann is there stood in the gun, you know, it's not like he's looking to sneak that ball between the tackles, between the guards rather, or guard and centre, which will be the most direct route. But it looks like the field goal unit is going to come on to attempt the first points of the afternoon, in the shape of Matt Allinson from the University of Derby, also a wide receiver, but Allinson looking to be about a 30-yard field goal, should he manage to be successful. Trying to put the first points on the board of the afternoon here in Coventry. Snap is down, and yeah, the holder there didn't really get that ball down quick enough and didn't give Allinson much of a chance, and there was pressure up the middle as well, and Allinson almost looked like he didn't want to follow through for fear of his leg getting caught.
Yeah, there were two blue defenders kind of coming in quite quickly on the football there. George Rhymes, a linebacker from UWE, was one of them, and he just threw the timing of that kick-off. Those are the sorts of things you don't get huge amounts of time to practice, because obviously you've got to install an offense and a defense, and then you get some time to do special teams. But the kicking game obviously relies so much on timing and repetition and those same players working together over time. So we have a 0-0 and blue are on the field.
So here we go then, first offensive series for the South, and it's a little jet sweep off to the left-hand side. Picks up positive yardage, around about 6 of those positive yards. So a good start for the offence, led by quarterback Alex Stocks of Imperial College London.
Samuel Adesanya from Solent, Southampton University, on the run. And they're trying to get width on these opening drives. You notice that Paul Sharrett's North team trying to drive through the tackles, whereas the blue trying to use the speed of those running backs to get to the edge. 2nd and 4.
2nd and 4 it is indeed. Carl Stocks has 2 backs alongside him, and he gives to the one on his right hand side, who makes a nice little cutback and picks up yardage for a South first down. The man on the carry that time was Jack Henley from Royal Holloway University.
Bolo Lady from University of Liverpool, a defensive line, coming in there to having to make the stop from his defensive line position. Linebacker just overran the play. Running back sees the cutback lane. First down.
So 2 plays for the offense of the South, and they results in their first down of the afternoon. First down rather. Another jet sweep. This time it's fumbled, and another error by the South, which leads to another North turnover.
Yeah, Aaron Anderson, defensive line for University of Derby, coming in to scoop that up and to get that ball turned over. Well, let's see, actually they're giving it 2nd and 10, so I don't think it was a recovery in the end. It's blue are retaining possession.
Very fortunate, because it wasn't the running back Henley who recovered his own fumble, so it must have been a very eager defender. Nice step by Tom Hastings, and Tom Hastings gets out to midfield. So what was almost a disaster for the South, on the very next play, 14-yard pickup and first down South at midfield.
Yeah, Chidabem Nwasi having to come all the way from his defensive line position to make the tackle after that great move by number 10, Tom Hastings from Oxford Brookes, and it's going to give the blue, after that initial error, some really nice field position now, just outside of the red half.
So first down Stocks with 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right, and he has a big running back, Adesanya of Solent, alongside him, and another attempt, and that's well sniffed out by big number 97, Bolu Alade from Liverpool, for a loss of 5.
Yeah, he did a great job there, because they only come with a 3-man front. They're not coming with 4 or 5. They're coming with a 3. They're playing a 3-4 defense. Just those 3 defenders at the line of scrimmage. And a lady does a great job of just busting through that B gap and being right on the runner in the backfield.
So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back at the moment for the South, and that was the very same play that they fumbled on 2 plays previously. So 2nd and 14, Stocks back to pass for the first time, steps up into the pocket really nicely, and now tucks the ball under his arm, then releases it again, flips it out, and that's going to be incomplete from our vantage point, and I think that's what's called by the official again. Intended receiver there, number 83, was Benjamin Shaw of University of Exeter.
Yeah, the defensive line just allowing those kind of vertical gaps for Alex Stocks to find a little bit of space off to his right-hand side. Did really well on the scramble, and he'll feel a little bit let down that wasn't completed.
If you're a tackle there from the South team, you've got to be happy with that, managing to push your D lineman around the back so that Stocks can step up. This time Stocks rolls to his left, and that's a hard pass to make, and he eludes 1 man, and he stays on his feet after a 2nd man, and then he's slung to the floor, really didn't have anywhere to go, and rolling to your left and trying to throw back as a right-handed quarterback is always going to be a difficult challenge.
Yeah, Paul Awini from the north and others coming in with the pressure there. Nearly looked like it was going to be a strip fumble at one point, but Stocks does a really nice job again of just using his body to elude the pressure.
We're very much seeing what we predicted, Carl. Defences coming to play early doors, although there is a flag on the play, and that's going to result in an automatic first down. So another big break for the South.
Yeah, our refereeing crew today is Brian Yates, the referee, Stuart Young, umpire, Pete Tom, who's the head linesman, Stuart Tabera, the line judge, Evan Patterson, back judge, Amir Brooks, the field judge, Andrew Morrell, side judge, and Jed Brooks-Lewis, who's the centre judge. That's the first call we've heard from them today, from Brian, for that long 15-yarder.
First down then, and again a little tackle, off-tackle handoff, and it goes a long way laterally, but nowhere vertically for Jack Henley and the South. Very experienced officiating crew with Brian Yates in charge this afternoon, Carl.
Absolutely, and on that play, Paul Awini again coming up from his linebacker position, University of Liverpool player, doing a nice job of just chasing that running back down just for that 1-yard gain.
Prior to that penalty, I mentioned about the fact that it was as predicted, the defences doing what they do and stifling both offences at the moment, and we have seen flashes from each offence, but nothing consistent at the moment as the defence bring the pressure again. Stocks drops back, nothing to his right. Now he tucks the ball and runs loads of open field to his left, and he picks up a first down and runs out of bounds at the 22-yard line, just outside the red zone for the South.
Yeah, you just saw that opening up, didn't you, as he ran over to his left-hand side, and just the space just opened up as those defenders all dropping back to defend that pass. They keep those 2 running backs in the backfield just to give them a little bit of protection, and I think those running backs are just stopping those defensive line from getting to the quarterback and allowing that space for Stocks on that left-hand side. Nice pickup.
Good awareness, though, from Stocks as well, keeping his eyes downfield initially and then recognising that he got lots of meterage in front of him, as this time he mishandles the snap, then pops the ball out and floats a dangerous ball, and that could have been 6 if Jack Mayfield had been there a little bit quicker from the University of Nottingham.
Yeah, University of Nottingham player that can make big plays, as we saw in the final between UWE and UON, and nearly had one there.
So 2nd and 10, Stocks just mishandled that snap at that time, and that then put him off, put in a real nice spiral on that ball. Panicked a little bit maybe, but he gets the opportunity again. 2nd and 10, just outside the red zone of the North. Still 0-0 here in Coventry in this Football America BUCS All-Star game, as he goes up top and he's got a man, and the reception's made at the 9-yard line, and he gets tackled inside the 5 down to about the 4, and it'll be 1st and goal South. That's number 83 on the reception, Benjamin Shaw from the University of Exeter. Came back to that football, met it really nicely, high-pointed it, and then made a step inside the 5. 1st and goal South.
Yeah, he's a big wide receiver, Benjamin Shaw, and he's given him great field position now. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
as the receiver comes out and another big lineman trundles onto the field in the shape of Sam Shepherd from UWE.
See whether they go with a heavy set now that they're inside that 5-yard line, just inside it. They're going to call a timeout and have a think about this one.
And indeed it is timeout once again at this point. Just thanks to British American Football and to BUCS, British University College Sport, and to Football America, who have helped put on this event today, this Football America All-Stars game 2022. Also, if you are watching, and there's currently, I think, around about 540 odd people watching on the stream. If you are a coach watching out there, just a reminder that the annual Coaches Convention will take place between the 8th and the 10th of July at Keele University. Updates and ticket information will take place and be published on the BAFA website and on the social media pages. So if you are a coach out there wanting to further your own knowledge and develop from some of the best in the business, both this side of the pond and beyond, get yourself on the BAFA website and find out about that convention. Here we go then, Carl. First and goal from the 4-yard line for the South. Stocks with what looks like a heavy set, and he tries that handoff once again, and he bounces into the end zone, does Jack Henley, for the first score of the afternoon. No flags, touchdown South.
Yeah, they did a really nice job there. They do bring in the heavy set just on that right-hand side with the tight end in, just 2 wide receivers wide. And number 4 for the South, Jack Henley, the Royal Holloway University running back, tiptoes his way just behind those big bodies, gets himself into the end zone. So we do have an early opening score. Good to see.
That zone run play that we've seen 3 or 4 times on that first little drive, and he's patient as Henley, finds the cutback lane and just jogs his way in for 6. Interestingly, the South electing to go for 2 as Stocks tries that very same play. Different player this time. In fact, it is Henley once again, but the result is not the same.
Yeah, you can fool me once, but not twice. So we're trying the same play and consecutive plays. The Red were equal to that. And interesting that they're going for 2 there, rather than just kicking the extra point. Maybe that will come back to haunt them, as the Red defend that 2-pointer really well.
So, the ball's been covering the vast majority of the field so far in this first quarter. The South just coming out on top so far, courtesy of that Jack Henley rushing touchdown from 4 yards out. And the North will see if they can respond, as Henley is late to the field on special teams. Thought he might get a rest after his touchdown and then 2-point attempt, but no, straight back on there in one of the gunner positions. Back to receive once again, Jason Sanders of Sheffield Hallam and Joshua Oluwatosin of Loughborough, and it's Sanders who makes the run back just outside his 25 to about the 27, and the North offense will take over once again.
Leon Klozovitz, UWE, we've called his name now for the 2nd time, making a special teams play. Really nice tackle to shut down that runner, but a much more confident kick return that time from Red. Let's see what they can do on this drive, now being 6-0 down.
So Bailey Mann back under centre. 3rd possession really for the North. Their initial possession ended in a punt, but that punt was muffed, which extended that drive. And Mann now back on the field with the South threatening from the edge once again in the shape of Josh Ricketts. Ball handed off, very similar inside run play again. Different running back this time though. That's Luke McCorkingdale Brown from NTU.
Yeah, he's a great runner, but didn't have a chance there as Will Bulkwill from University of Exeter came in, and the defensive formation for that run play on first down was absolutely perfect. They had a couple of end players just waiting for that running back to get to them.
So 2nd and a long 9. As Mann drops back, he's got a man in his face, in fact. He looked to his left, then went all the way back to his right and was met by George Rhymes in his face of UWE.
Yeah, these UWE players seem to be all over the field, as you would expect with the national champions. Such a talented squad. 11 players that were selected for this. 8 players that were selected out of the 47. And they are making their presence felt early in this game.
So backs against the wall time for the North. 6-0 down and 3rd and 10 upcoming. Two receivers to man's right, and you'd think he'd be going to the air looking for some protection, which he does get for a minute, and then steps up and almost drops the ball. And it's that same man we mentioned from the play before.
It's George Rhymes again.
It is George Rhymes of UWE, registering the first sack of the afternoon.
Back-to-back plays, and you could just see that's how to make a sack, Matt. Come round the back, and then what you do is you put your body on the line as the quarterback tries to escape. And, of course, it takes the quarterback by surprise. He's just not expecting you to be there that quickly. Great linebacking play from George Rhymes.
If you look closely there as well, when man took off, he did lose control of the ball for a second as well, which probably slowed him down and gave Rhymes the opportunity to get to him even quicker. So, second punt of the afternoon. We saw what was the result of the first punt, and the returner is going to have that sun in his eyes once again. The ball is high and goes towards the sideline. Unfortunately, maybe, as the crowd goes wild for one of the coaches who makes a great reception. For number 23, Akwazi Banahen of Brunel was the kick returner. He's probably quite pleased he didn't have to field that one, because that would have come out of the sun once again.
It was Greg Freeman, wasn't it? Who was having a little boogie on the sideline after he caught that ball. Coach is excited about this game. Greg Freeman used to be a great punter in his own right. Good to see him on the sideline.
So the South take over once again, looking to add to their lead. 6-0 currently to the South. Back onto the field is Alex Stocks with Desanyana alongside him. Same little zone play. Successful as it was on the touchdown. Looks like it's successful. Yeah, the ball's come out, I think, Carl, has it?
You could see it. You could see that ball was slowly being stripped out. Just have to see whether he has gone to ground.
The initial signal, Carl, is turnover.
Yes, it is, and that's right, and that's the North. They did a great job on that. The running back got turned around, and from the very start that contact was made, that ball was coming out. And we think it was Joshua Adarimi, the linebacker from Coventry University, who made a really good play on that one, stripping that ball out, and the North take over.
So turnovers galore so far. And again, it wasn't the punt turnover, but it was the next play. And when it appeared that the South had picked up a first down, unfortunately the back couldn't hang on to that ball. And as he went into the horde of tacklers, he saw him going in, ball in one hand, hadn't wrapped it up. Very dangerous play. But anyway, back to it. North, back with the football. And this time it's the read option, and there's going to be a face mask penalty on that one, as Bailey Mann tries to find the edge but can't. But it's going to get yards tacked on, as Mann does grab his own face mask, indicating to the referee that that's what he thinks the call should be.
Yeah, it's going to be it will be a face mask, but it's a harsh penalty, because I'm not sure. They are having a discussion about it. I'm not sure he actually grasped the face mask, but certainly there was a hand to Mann's face. Nevertheless, it was a really nice defended play, both on the initial run and then on the option. The quarterback was taken away immediately. It
doesn't look like, actually, It looks like it might. Is it being waved off?
I think that's a good decision if it is.
We can't hear from the referees at the moment.
Disregarded. That is also the end of the quarter.
Let's see where that ball goes, whether it gets moved at all from this 2nd and 12 spot. I think they picked it up, Matt. Oh, no, here we go. What? Brian Yates.
That is the end of the quarter.
It's the end of the quarter. So the ball's not going to move for a penalty, but it is the end of the quarter, Matt.
And the score then remains the South 6 and the North 0 in this 2022 Football America All-Star game. Here from the Coventry BUCS Park Arena, as it were, in the West Midlands on this gloriously sunny, if a little chilly, April Saturday afternoon. We hope you're enjoying coverage here in what is this showpiece event. And like we said, that flag was picked up. So no flag for face mask. It will remain the North ball. So Alex Mann. Bailey Mann, rather, my mistake, reading something completely different when I was trying to talk at the same time as read. Should never try and do more than one thing at once. But Bailey Mann will be back in possession of this ball, 2nd and 12 upcoming.
Been some nice plays in that first quarter. Just the one touchdown from Jack Henley, but some really nice defensive plays.
So here we go then, 2nd and 12 as blitz comes up the middle, and Mann does manage to get the ball away and completes that pass. before he's dumped on his derriere. But the pass is completed for a pickup of 7.
Will Boltwill streaming in from that middle linebacker spot, straight through that A-gap, right into the face of the quarterback, the University of Exeter linebacker. Second time we've called his name today.
Keeps it 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 7 will be the call for Bailey Mann. One receiver to the left, 3 to the right, and Mann drops back again. He's looking for the screen. He just managed to complete the screen, and now the blockers out front, and there are blockers out front, and some nice nimble footwork from Luke McCorkindale-Brown from NTU picks up a first down for the North.
That's what McCorkindale-Brown can do if you can get him into a little bit of space, and that's the perfect play call, because the blue defence sending some blitzers now, 5, 6 men coming into that quarterback's face. Just drop it off to your running back and putting it in the hands of a talented athlete.
No huddle as well, as McCorkindale-Brown slips trying to make the cut this time. Trying to go a little bit of up-tempo work now, the North. But unfortunately, as McCorkindale-Brown tried to make his cut, maybe got the wrong length cleats on for this surface and just ends up face planting. But 2nd and 10.
I know, just being around the players from NTU, how excited they were to be selected for this. It's such a privilege and an honour for them to play in this game. They're loving it.
Blitz coming straight with the middle, timed really well, and Stocks that looks to take off, and great coverage that time by number 24 for the North, Karar Gassam from Brunel.
Yeah, trying to get the ball to Tom Lovett, the wide receiver, University of Sheffield, and the DB did a really nice job of just coming in front of that receiver, so Lovett couldn't get to the football.
Bailey Mann doing a good job, because there was a inside blitz coming there which was timed to absolute perfection. Did manage to sidestep him and get the ball away on 3rd down and long. Pressure coming again from his right side, and he lost that over his intended receiver, who is Joshua Oluwatosin from Loughborough, and that'll bring out the punt unit once again for the North.
That's the sort of thing you don't get a chance to practice with your receivers as much as you would like in an All-Star game, and so they're a little bit off with each other's reads. I think the quarterback expected the receiver to go long on that and just overthrows him as the receiver comes back on a hook.
So, the 3rd punt of the afternoon for the North. And number 89, Louis Nicholson-Turnbull from Loughborough with the punting duties. The ball takes a North bounce and rolls all the way inside the 20, down to about the 15-yard line. In fact, exactly the 15-yard line, where the South will take over.
Nice call, Matt, on the yardage. The kicks are so short because there's so much pressure coming from those defensive lines. So at the last minute, these punters are kind of having to pull their toe in a little bit just to ensure it's not blocked. So you get these short kicks. But that is a very fortunate bounce for the North. So some pretty difficult field position here for the South.
I don't think I'm going to take up meteorology either, Carl, because actually it's more difficult returning punts from this end. My shadow analogy earlier on was completely wrong, but if you look where the shadows are,
it makes that error then inexplainable, Matt.
It does, completely. So good handoff on 1st down and a big gap. Oh, the ball's loose once again. The ball goes down once again, and that was Adesanya from Solent with the carry, who looked like he picked up a huge chunk of yardage, and then the ball popped out and the North recover.
Wow, another turnover on a fumble. The North defence really making it difficult for this South team to run the ball. Even when they're getting yards, they're coming up with these recoveries.
But that did look like a really good play on 1st down.
This is great field position now for the North, where they're going to be just on the 22-yard line going in. And a real chance now to even up the score in this 2nd quarter.
Score is still 6-0 in favour of the South. Bailey Mann and that North offence will get another opportunity now. As you mentioned, Carl, 22 yards from pay dirt. Let's see whether or not, in fact, we have a different quarterback in. Number 11, Liam McGovern from your Nottingham Trent University, Carl.
Yeah, the nerves are building in me now. Come on, Liam.
So McGovern already audible in on his very first play. Ball is taken, and the ball is bumped up, and that's it! Oh, it's not! In and out of the hands of number 85, and he could see He could see hero status. Aaron Mante from the University of Birmingham saw 6 points in front of him and couldn't bring it in.
And he was looking at the trophy, wasn't he, rather looking for the ball. One of those things where you just think, no, I don't believe it, Oh, the ball's on the ground.
And how's Liam McGovern feeling now, Carl?
Well, we don't want to mention that. I think what he had great pressure in his face, didn't he, from these South All-Star teams. It's so difficult out there because his defences are all over them.
So second down for McGovern. High snap this time, and this one's fun, but he's just got to drop on it. So not the best of introductions for McGovern. One first pass battered down, almost pick six, and the second one over his head, and he's just got to drop on it to make sure he maintains possession.
To be fair to him, he did well on that play, because that's all you can do if the snap is so high and you can't pull it down. That was way over his head that time.
So from what looked like a very promising position on 1st and 10 just outside the 20-yard line, McGovern now faces 3rd and 20.
It's Luke Daniel, the snapper for the North here. Well, flags are in.
Well, I reckon you saw the blitzers coming early, but I think unfortunately that's going to go against the North, because I think Louis Nicholson-Turnbull from Loughborough, I think he went early as well, and that could be coming back, although the initial signal is encroachment by the officials. Here's our official, Mr. Brian Yates.
Offside. Defence, cause and reaction by the offence. 5-yard penalty. Mine's 3rd down.
So that will be a little bit of a break for the North.
They needed it. 2 very nervy snaps before this one. Let's see what Liam can do here on 3rd and 15.
So you'd think he'd be going to the air, but you never can tell, particularly with the 2 previous snaps he's had, as he points out, that threatening linebacker. Another one dancing on the edge as well, and here it comes, and he's got time. He goes over the middle. It's a hit and hope, really, and it's receptions made in traffic. What a fantastic pickup that is by Jack Porteous from Sheffield Hallam University. That looked like just a sort of throw and hope kind of job.
Well, let's not get too carried away. I thought Liam did a good job there. He gets sandwiched between 2 defenders, and he knows he's got good athletes out there. He put it in a place where these great athletes can make a great catch, and that's what happened. 1st down.
It is 1st and goal now. 1st and goal for the North, looking to level this All-Star game up as the clouds come in a little tighter here in Coventry. The sun's disappeared momentarily. But Liam McGovern of NTU orchestrating what he hopes to be the first scoring drive of the afternoon for the North. High snap again, and that one's on the floor, and McGovern just has to drop once again, and like you said, Carl, not to call out the centre, but unfortunately not making McGovern's job much easier at the moment.
Well, you say that, call him out. His name's Luke Daniel. He's the offensive lineman for Leeds Beckett. He's just had a couple of wayward snaps, hasn't he? He's been playing very well up to this point. So not quite sure what's happening with the snaps, but they do need to get that under control. And I think they're going to bring in another centre to see whether they can get a better exchange. And again, it's that thing, different quarterbacks want the ball at different heights. It's not necessarily the centre's fault. You get used to a certain quarterback play. You come into a game like this, McGovern's a certain height, wants the ball at a certain, at his waist, and you have some of those miscues.
You'll know better than me. How tall is roughly McGovern?
He's just under 6 foot.
Okay. So here we go then. 2nd and goal from the 11. Nice snap this time. McGovern looks to his left-hand side, and that's a floater, and that is picked off. And that is picked on the far sideline. What have we got there? Number, can't see right now, 22 for the North. That's Milo Wakefield from the University of Birmingham. And unfortunately, there is a flag on the play, though, Cole. McGovern had his struggles on that and floated that one. And whenever you're floating the ball to the sideline, you're asking for trouble, really.
Yeah, should have pulled that one back. That was really, really good coverage. We'll see whether this flag is after the interception. I think
return,
it probably
personal foul
is going to be. Here's the call from Brian Yates.
On the receiving team, half distance to the goal, they will keep the ball. 1st down.
So it is a personal foul against the South, but as you mentioned, after the interception, so the South will maintain possession but will be marched back. Poor old Liam McGovern, though, Cole.
Well, he had that one pass over the middle. He had a couple of awry snaps, and then the interception. He won't be pleased with that. Made one nice reception, but he'll want to come back on the field if he gets a chance and show himself to be the quarterback that he is.
So the South will start after the penalty on their own 10-yard line. And Alex Stocks remains at quarterback, hands the ball off, a nice little spin move from Adesanya. And he does spin. He puts a lot of work in there for about a yard, maybe 2.
It was a great move by Adesanya, because David Anney, from the defensive lineman from Sheffield Hallock, had him just 3-yard loss, and he manages to spin out of that one, then spin out of a couple more and picks up 4.
Yeah, I've done him a disservice there. It is 2nd and 6 there, so 4 yards on first down. Staying ahead of the chains. Most of the playbook's still open to you if you've picked up 4, and now a little funny. Well, don't know who was more confused there, the O-line or the defence. As Alex Stocks motioned his entire backfield up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they just decided they were going to go and see whether they could get. They must have seen something, maybe that centre's uncovered, so the quarterback thinks he can pick something up. But in the end, no offsides, no encroachments, and it's just a 1-yard play and then a sit down. Thank you very much.
It almost seemed like Alex Stocks saw a gap in front of him, then went into the gap and thought, this is going to hurt. I may sit down sooner than anticipated.
Live for another play.
Well, here is his other play, 3rd and 5. Stocks again with 2 receivers to his left, 2 men in the backfield, and he's going to tuck that ball and run himself and pushes his lineman out of the way and then tentatively runs into 2 or 3 South defenders, and he's going to be just about a yard shy of first down. An interesting decision here on 4th and 1.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because on the 20-yard line, I think they're going to punt here to keep it safe and protect their lead, and why wouldn't you? You have that 6-0 lead, no need to take too many risks. Still in the first half, and these coaches will want the win. They want the pride. They want to be able to say they won the All-Star game.
And it's a beautiful trophy as well, this All-Star trophy. And 4th and 1, and not only has the weather done the players a favour, but the weather has done me a favour as well. No sun at all. Fumbled snap, and just managed to get a line drive off, and the ball bounces over the halfway line and takes a south bounce inside the 45 down to the 42-yard line, where the North will take over once again.
We will see a blocked punt before this game is over. They've come so close a number of times, and that time the punter had to kind of extend his legs, so it was just that line drive, that low kick coming out. He couldn't get any height on the ball because the defending player was coming in with the potential block.
Bold predictions from Carl Walkinshaw.
Bold indeed, a punt block.
As we see the South defensive front there with Billy Elliott and teammates awaiting the arrival of Liam McGovern and the North offense for this next series. Not bad field position again for McGovern. I want to try and instill a little bit of confidence in McGovern. You can see 2 receivers in the slot on the left-hand side to the top of his screen. There is McGovern as the man comes in motion, looking like it's going to be a jet sweep, but it isn't. McGovern keeps it and then possibly regrets that decision after he picks up 2 yards and runs into linebacker Karar Gassam from Brunel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably the right decision to keep the ball. Obviously, these defenses so tough, and Gassam from Brunel just stood him up, pushed him back.
2nd and 8. McGovern once again trying to identify where those blitzers are coming from, make sure he's got his blocking assignments right. And he's in trouble this time, and he's in trouble from George Rhymes, that man once again.
There he is, he's so quick off the edge, George Rhymes. That's his 2nd sack of the day on 2 different quarterbacks. So Rhymes from UWE, just all sorts of talent.
So McGovern's struggles continue for the North offense. Faces another 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 once again from his own 37-yard line. This time Rhymes may have stepped over, may have encroached, but the way those flags are, that's going to be a false start, I think, against
false start. Offense,
Henry Rowland 19, from Loughborough.
Yeah, Rhymes definitely took a step, but it is going to be against the offense.
Unfortunately so. So McGovern's job of 3rd and 14 has just been made 5 yards more difficult. I'm actually looking where those chains are. It's actually 3rd and 20. You'd think he'd be going to the air. And unfortunately, at the moment, McGovern not had a great deal of convictions on his throws. The one over the middle that was completed was courtesy of his receiver. And then the interception was floated out to his left-hand side. See if he can be a bit more positive on this. And it's handed off instead, up the middle. One man misses and the ball's on the floor again! And I think that has been recovered by the offence. And it is, fortunately, for the North. It's Jordan Schutt-McCabe of NTU who comes up with the recovery.
I don't know what Joe Blythe was thinking on that play at number 19, the running back for Leeds Beckett, and he just didn't have good control of the football, did he?
Not interesting, isn't it, really, as well, because conditions aren't fumble conducive. You know, you'd have thought it would have been relatively easy to hold on to the football. But again, you just don't know from quarterback to running back exchange, that being new, and like you've said about having the practice time, not necessarily knowing the nuances of a running back, where they like it, and a quarterback, how they're going to deliver it in there as the punt once again goes up. No block this time, and a high punt going for the sideline, and it kicks up, takes a south bounce, and then trickles out of bounds just inside the 40, where the North will take over.
So these defenders definitely intimidating these offences currently, and whether it's runs up the middle or quarterback sacks or running backs, you know, making mistakes with the football, you just feel like the physicalness of these defences, the size and speed that they're bringing to this game, and the athletic ability that some of these defenders have is just intimidating these offences at the moment. So it's the South that are going to come back on the field. At their 39-yard line, they're going to start this drive with a 6-0 lead. Handoff there to the left-hand side. Cuts back to his right. Here's some skill and speed. Can he find the edge on the other side? No, he can't. Number 7. It's that guy, Paul Awini, coming in from the University of Liverpool to track him down. And these defenders have good speed, so even the running backs that are great athletes in their own right can't find the edge.
You did think something was going to open up there, didn't you, for a minute, Carl, when Adesanya reversed field and went back to the far side. But then, unfortunately for the South, but fortunately for the North, Paul Awini was there to make the tackle. We've got a man down at the moment, which gives us an opportunity to give a few thank yous. First of all, to Pete Ackerley from BAFA for supporting the return of the GB Students Programme. Jenny Morris from BUCS for supporting that GB Students Programme as well. Obviously, we thank Coventry Rugby Club as well as the host venue. And importantly, Kieran McGorman and groundsman Eric Richardson for all their help in enabling this event to be put on today. Amanda McDonald and Roger Goodgroves and Francis Bevan as well for their support of this event this afternoon. All the coaching staffs and Maxwell Petitjean and Paul Sherratt as head coaches. And obviously for BAFA as well, for the elite crew headed by Brian Yates that they've been able to put on for us today. As we've just seen from that injury as well, medical support always important and been provided by the BAFA National Programme medical team, coordinated by Bev Analua. So we thank all those people for enabling this event to be put on today. Here we go then, once again, 2nd and 11. Stocks rolls to his left, and he does manage to get a nice ball out. Completion on midfield to number 83, and that's Benjamin Shaw from Exeter.
That is a great play, both ends of the ball. I mean, really outstanding football. He had great quarterback rollout, has great poise to loft the ball over those closing defenders, and then Benjamin Shaw with a toe-tapping reception on the sideline, knew exactly where he was. Really nice professional-looking play from a couple of great players.
You can't overemphasise how hard that is as a timeout taken.
That is a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left.
In fact, I think that's a 2-minute warning, in fact. That is a 2-minute warning. Sorry, we're not able to hear the referees at the moment. I know you guys can at home, but we're not able to hear the referees at the moment. So apologies if we do end up interrupting them from time to time. But that is a 2-minute warning in this second quarter. That's flown by, Carl. 3/4 of an hour real time gone from the start of the game. 2-minute warning. And the South look to extend their lead if they can before the half. Yeah.
See if we can get some fireworks in these last 2 minutes.
So again, Alex Stocks, this time, little jet sweep, and that'll be put down as a completion, but for no gain, as he manages just to pitch the ball to Issei Aluko from Brunel. I say
Nyana Raj coming in from University of Leeds, and again you get a sense of the speed of these defences. They're so quick sideline to sideline. The South are trying to find the edge, and the edge just ain't there.
Going back to that completion from Stocks 2 plays ago, to roll to your left and then as a right-handed quarterback throw back with any degree of accuracy and hit a man on the sideline like that does show Alex's capabilities, and hopefully we'll see more of it as this game progresses. So 2nd and 10 from midfield. Stocks looking and swings the ball out to that same man, Aluko, and Aluko is swung back for a loss of a couple.
Such a great play from Shidabem Nwuso, as there's a little bit of afters on that one.
Yeah.
University of Central Lancashire, but also plays for Manchester Titans. And what he did on that play was use the sideline so well as that 12th defender, knew exactly the angle he needed to take, and then just eventually just drags that running back out of bounds.
Matt Allinson there, sorry, Josh Jackman from Loughborough just letting Aluko know that he didn't pick up any positive yardage, as this time the ball is played into a nice position and a hit without being wrapped. But eventually the man is brought down. That's Benjamin Shaw with the reception. A nice pass for a pickup of 2.
It was. In the end, Joe Parton made the initial contact into U defensive back and pushed him back, and then his colleague comes in, number 24, as you say, Paul Rotheroe, comes in to clean it up. So eventually an effective play, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Timeout North. Their second charge timeout. 1 minute 29 seconds. First half.
So interesting, the North are taking the time out to try and preserve some clock to see if they can use these last few seconds of the first half to get something positive on the board for them. Because 4th down from midfield, what do you reckon? Stocks and the offence still out there? Yes, Stocks is running back out. So it looks like the South are going to go for it, confident in their defence, being able to defend a 50-yard field.
Better than having a block punt. We'll see here, actually, whether we see any kind of trickery or trying to call them offsides or anything like that before the snap comes in.
And no, directly to Stocks, and Stocks is looking for time. He's got time. He's got a man over the middle. He's going to be... Oh, he makes a move and steps out to 2-3 tackles and picks up a South first down. 83 on the reception again is Benjamin Shaw. 2 receptions back-to-back and a big one there as Shaw steps out. 2 or 3 North tackles, and the South are in business.
And you'll remember Benjamin Shaw was the player that made the catch to bring the Blue into the 5-yard lines to set up for the touchdown. So he's had 3 key receptions, and on 4th down he brings his best.
And he thought he was going to get a breather, and I think he's winded. He's had the wind knocked out of him.
Looks like he took a knock, doesn't it? And just needs an opportunity to just take some breaths and just get his kit checked as well.
Timeout.
Adesanya.
They're second. 1 minute 3 seconds left. First half.
So yeah, so the South do take another timeout there, and it was quite amusing as Adesanya sprinted to the sideline, thinking he was coming out, and poor old Benjamin Shaw was caught between the hash marks, thinking, oh, I could really do with a breather here, and Adesanya just made his way to the sideline, and fortunately for Shaw, did catch the attention of his coaches and has managed to get himself to the sideline to recover. So here we go then, 1st down, 1st and 10. For the South, looking to extend their lead as Stocks looks back to pass again. He's got time. He's got a man over the middle, and that one is just underthrown. Intended receiver was Aluko for Brunel. And with a bit of nifty footwork, Paul Rotheroe from the University of Leeds.
They've had some success. Have Blue over the middle of the field, especially to Benjamin Shaw, just trying to split those cover 2 safeties, and they've had a couple of pass receptions that have gone well. That one was underthrown that time, but wonder if they'll go back to that as this drive progresses.
All starts though, doesn't it, Carl, with the time that the quarterback has, and that offensive line for the South is giving Stocks plenty of time to be able to set his feet and pick out a man, and let's see if they can do that again. And they can. The ball out to the sideline, and that's a beautiful catch. Great timing on the tackle that time. Tackle made by Josh Jackman of Loughborough University. Reception made by number 84.
Yeah, it was a beautifully floated pass, wasn't it? Absolutely timed really, really well. The receiver just turning around, and there was the ball just as he turned around to receive it.
Perfect timing. Good football all around. Nice pass, nice catch. Good form tackle. 3rd and 4 for the South. Man coming in motion from the right of your screen. And he receives that, and it's a little reverse play. And in fact, it's number 94.
Wow.
And I think that was the man who made the reception last time rather than 84. It is. It's Dolo Rabiu from Imperial College London, so 94. Rather unusual.
That was
number.
crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. The initial end around coming from right to left, and then it was knocked out of that receiver's hands by the defence and then picked up by 94. South, then goes in the other direction.
Third and final timeout with 14 seconds left in the half.
Another timeout, final timeout taken by the South. It almost looked like that was a planned double reverse, but nevertheless, Rabiu on point, picking up 3 of the 4 yards and brings up a really interesting 4th and a yard. And there's no reason really with the time on the clock that Stock shouldn't go for this here. Now this is the play where you want to audible you and your back up to the line of scrimmage and try and nibble that extra yard, although the defensive front for the North look wise to it. It is an inside handoff, and there is a first down. And Jack Henley, scorer of the sole touchdown of the afternoon, picks up a big first down, and they have to hurry back to the line of scrimmage because they're out of timeouts. Stock's looking like he's going to clock this ball, which he does.
Converting twice on this drive on 4th down. Pretty gutsy calls coming in from this head coach, Maxwell Petitjean. But he's doing well on these 4th down plays. One was that long pass to Benjamin Shaw, and then this one they just run it up the middle, and that looked like a really good run as well. I tell you, this Blue offense looks like they're really getting into gear now, getting more synchronized with each other, feeling each other in terms of where that ball's going to be thrown and how the quarterback's going to throw it, and they really look like they're gelling.
It's Andrew Morgan, offensive coordinator, calling the shots for the South. Andrew Morgan of GB Students. And interestingly, more than likely because of the amount of time that's left, the South elect to try and tack on 3 in the shape of Mehdi Gassem. And the kick is down, ball is up, and the field goal is good.
Beautiful kick, beautiful drive. Drived all the way down the field, those 2 4th down conversions, and then coming in as time runs out to kick that field goal.
And that, I believe, by Brian Yates' signal, was the last play of the half. And indeed, that is half-time here at the 2022 Football America GB All-Stars game here in Coventry, with the score of the South 9 and the North 0. Quickly sum up that first half, Cole.
Thought it was fascinating first half. You had a lot of good defensive play early and some nerves from the North very early on. The Blue finding the offensive gears a lot more easy than the North. The North struggling really with some of those intimidating players that play on the South, not least those UWE bullet players that have been all over the field for the South. And so it's been a really interesting battle. But it's a 9-0 and a well-deserved lead, I think, in the end for Blue.
Well, plenty more to come here from Coventry, but we're going to step away and take a 5-minute breather, and then we'll be back with you with so much more from the BUCS Arena here in Coventry with this GB All-Stars 2022 game. We will see you very shortly. Welcome back to the BUCS Arena here in Coventry. You join us at half-time of this 2022 Football America GB All-Stars game. Best of British from the British Universities League here on display this afternoon. South currently leading by a score of 9-0. Very much a who's who of British American football here this afternoon, from coaches to players, veterans, up-and-coming players, and also blessed to have here this afternoon not only established coaches on the sideline, but also coaches from other programmes. We were lucky enough to catch up earlier on with Great Britain Under-19 head coach Scott Rowe, who's here watching some of these prospective players, trying to make links between that Under-19s programme and British universities. Here's what he had to say a little bit earlier on. Great to be able to introduce to you now Great Britain Under-19 head coach Scott Rowe. Scott, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Matt.
Obviously Under-19, so not really university level, but you're here with a lot of interest today. What's your purpose of being here this afternoon?
Well, I think for me, basically, there's a lot of crossover now. We've got some of our guys who are still eligible to play Under-19s, Under-20 football, and there's some great talent, and we've got some great talent as well. And I think the big thing for us is it's establishing links between the Under-19 program and the students, because there's a natural feed between our program and their program. So that's what myself and Coach Hill have been discussing.
It does seem that communication is obviously key to any successful organisation, and in recent years, recent months, communication has been a real focus of American football in the UK. From a GB Under-19s perspective, what are you looking? What are the next steps? What's on the programme next? What's coming up?
Okay, well, we've got a really big year. We had a really big transition at the end of last year. I came in as the interim head coach. This is a big competition year for us. We have a friendly game in Denmark against Team Denmark. That's at the end of May. And then we have a European qualifying tournament, which will be in July in Italy. So it's a really big competition year for us, considering a program that we haven't really, before our practice in January, we hadn't had any organised activity for almost 2 years because of COVID.
Sure.
So it's been a big transition year for us. We a lot of new coaches coming into the program, new management. We're just really trying to put something together and do something right for the kids, because they deserve it. They've been great.
So obviously today you're here in your coaching capacity. Will you be able to watch this as a fan as well? Do you have a preference of offence, defence? What's your penchant?
Well, I'm a defensive guy, Matt. I've always been a defensive guy. So I do tend to lean towards that side of the ball. And it is always hard to strike a balance, because I'm a football fan at heart. So I like to watch games as a game, but I also have to watch it from a coaching perspective. And I think sometimes when you coach, and you've been a coach for a while, you tend to find it really hard to not watch it as a coach. You're always looking at, maybe not necessarily where the ball goes, but you're looking at what the backside tackle's doing, or the backside corner's doing and stuff. So I have to try and strike a balance. So that's what I'm going to try and do today.
And within that balance, are there players out here that you know are going to be involved in those Under-19s moving forward? And,
yep.
and therefore, is there anyone we can particularly look out for the Under-19 squad?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some great players. What I'm really looking forward to, I mean, we've got 3 guys who are already part of our squad at Under-19 that are out here today. You've got a quarterback for the North, Bailey Mann, number 10, and you've got a defensive back for the North, Freddie Burton. We've also got a D lineman from the South, Amrit Chatter. So I'm really excited to see those guys, in live action, because obviously we've had them at practices. But this will be the first time, really, I'm getting to see them actually live and go up against another team. So for me, that's what I'm looking at. But looking just out on the field at warm-ups, there's some big guys out there. I mean, there's some big D linemen, the big O linemen. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because I always feel that that's the basis of building a team. If you can get both lines sorted, you're halfway there. Well,
I think we're set for a fantastic afternoon of football here, and it's great that we can have coaches such as Scott here on the sidelines looking at the future of British football. So thank you ever so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the game.
Thanks very much, mate.
Right.
Cheers.
No problem. Great to be able to hear from Coach Rowe there and his plans for the GB Under-19 programme. And really, just an impressive alignment of players out here, from Alex Stocks, who's one of those young guys looking to impress, all the way across. And if you are currently watching via the stream on YouTube, it's not too late for you to get involved. So many different levels of football going on in the UK currently, from flag for all ages, all genders, equally to the British leagues, the national leagues that are kicking off tomorrow, in fact. Then we've got British universities football, we've got the women's leagues. Phoebe Schechter's here, and we're going to be speaking to her a little bit later on about the plans for GB Women's and what they've got coming up this year as well. But also, as we mentioned, the coaches that are on display here today. It's not just the players that are getting experience and learning as they go. Coaches are out here learning from their peers, learning from the players themselves about how to get on and to better themselves. And I think from this first half, we've seen a fantastic display. Fundamentals, really, that players need to work on. And as we've mentioned, when there are people who aren't used to working together and haven't had a lot of practices together, there's going to be those fundamental issues. But I think second half we'll see more of the same, and indeed improved performances. And some of those young coaches that are on display here are being given their opportunity by Wayne Hill and these British Universities programme, and we managed to catch up with two of them this earlier on today. I'm now pleased to say I'm joined by the North DB coach, up-and-coming coach Max Machenje. Nice to meet you, Max.
Nice to meet you too.
What can we expect today before we kick into a little bit about you?
Expect a game that's full of talent, really quality coaches, and it's going to be a big sort of statement and showpiece about what the university football game is all about, really. Some really good players, and it's going to be a great game. We saw a fantastic couple of finals a couple of weeks back, the Prem and the Div 1 final, with UWE running out champions in that, what was it, an emphatic win. But talk about your sort of experience. Obviously, you're relatively new to coaching, so what was the decision on your part to go from the playing side of things up into the coaching ranks? So I always really enjoyed playing, and as I got playing more and more, helping you guys come into the team, just being able to mentor them, really enjoyed that. And coaching was just the next progression, really. Getting to work with young guys at university level, at the University of Manchester, helping them not only with football but with life as well when they're studies. It's more than just about football, and just getting to help people, really. So yeah, I really enjoy my coaching at the moment.
Obviously, your DB coach this afternoon. Is your DB secondary looking decent? Are they going to be a match for the South wide receiver core?
Oh, they're going to be more than a match. Yeah, the DBs are looking great. The whole defense looking great, and the offense. So yeah. So the South team have got their hands full today with our team today.
What's the North style? Is it more a sort of blitz package? Is it more coverage?
Oh, you'll have to see when the game starts. You'll have to see when the game starts. But yeah, we're going to be bringing the heat today.
Well, it's great to get new young people in coaching, both at university and up in with the Lancashire Wolverines as well. So we wish you all the best of the season for that, and we thank you for joining us today.
Cheers, thank you.
Have
very
a great
much.
game.
Thank you.
All right. And now I'm joined by the South linebackers coach, Ollie Kent. Afternoon, Ollie.
Afternoon. How are you?
All right. Just hold that mic a tad. There you go, buddy. Great to have you on board here this afternoon. Obviously, you're relatively new to coaching. I think you told me off camera this is your second year of coaching. Tell me a little bit about your journey through American football in the UK from player up to this coaching perspective.
Yeah, so like most people, joined at uni, spent 4 years down in Brighton playing, and then a bit of the COVID break, and also I enjoyed the X and O, so I thought I'd get into a bit of coaching, plus a bit of injury, just a natural fit really.
So today, an exhibition game, or are the players taking it a little bit more seriously than that?
I think they're well up for it. You know, the weeks we've had them, they've all been dedicated to it, all been practicing how they should be. You know, some people might see it as a bit of an exhibition, a bit of a post-season sort of thing. This pro ball gets thrown about and stuff. I think these guys are absolutely up for it and ready to go. So.
And from a coaching perspective, how is it for you bringing in guys, like you said, not had a lot of time together, but how is it for you bringing in a linebacker core and being able to work and get them playing the way you want in a short space of time?
Yeah, I think it's credit to them. Their attitude's been absolutely amazing. Come in, willing to learn. You know, they've all come from different schemes, different levels as well. There's some great guys who've been on championship sides, there's guys who've been in the lower divisions and stuff, all come in, pride themselves, learn the playbook and really just take to it like water.
Strikes me that this is a great opportunity for developing not only players but young coaches like yourselves. Obviously, about 20 odd coaches, I think, on the South squad. What are you able to learn and garner from being around such experienced coaches?
Yeah, it's been fantastic for us. We were discussing coaches pre-game. We're very much the junior side as opposed to the North. But no, I think Maxwell's done a great job of inviting some younger talent in, surrounding ourselves with some more senior talent as well. And it's a great opportunity. I mean, just the networking alone and being surrounded by some of these coaches, understanding how to act on a game day, how to act in practice, and just improving the standard. I think it benefits the entire country realistically.
And your core this afternoon, are they more a run-stop linebacking core, a coverage core?
Do it all.
Wait and see. Wait and see.
They'll just make plays. That's all that we ask from them.
Well, thank you ever so much for joining us. I know you're a busy man, so let you get back to the South, and we look forward to watching you guys this afternoon.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Thanks very much. great opportunity to be able to speak to those young coaches here who are cutting their teeth, if you like, in this British game, Carl. And I think on display so far, all coaches concerned have done a really good job.
They have. It's been good, and it's so difficult because you have such a condensed amount of time to get these players ready. You've seen some strong defence, but I've been really impressed by the South offence and the job they've done preparing to get into this game, and they look ready to go in this second half.
Well, we're not too far away from that second half. As you can see just behind the graphic, the teams are warming up, and I'm delighted to be able to say we are joined by the inimitable Phoebe Schechter, Great Britain women's captain. Good afternoon, Phoebe.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's always a pleasure to have you on board with us. We managed to chat earlier on about this particular game. Just explain your capacity and why you're here today and what interest you have in this current BUCS setup.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess there's a couple different roles that I end up having here, mainly to help Wayne Hill and BAFCA put on this great event. You know, we know how this all works. It takes a bunch of volunteers to make something like this happen, but you can see how worthwhile it is by all the fans we have, how great the players look out there in their uniforms. The field is set up beautifully, and also really from an under-19s perspective, looking at some of our players who are actually under-19 out here playing now, seeing what the potential for them is, seeing them in actual game capacity, 11-a-side game capacity, which, as we know, they don't really get that much opportunity to do here.
And it's lovely as well that these are all British guys. So in terms of the future of the sport in this country, it's a really great advert for what we can expect to see moving forward.
Massively, and we have to keep putting this emphasis on the youth, the junior, these younger players, because they are our future. And, you know, even looking at, I was here 2 years ago at the last All-Star game, I mean, the impact and the difference already in the playing style, even the gameplay itself, you know, from formations to what we're doing, there's so much more of that quick air raid offense we see out there. But that, in turn, we've been seeing these DBs all day making plays, which has been so exciting.
So we talk about Great Britain, and we obviously mentioned and introduced you as the Great Britain women's captain. Tell us a little bit more, as the second half is just about to get underway, about the plans for the GB women's outfit this summer, because I know it's a big year for you.
It's a massive year for us as GB. So this summer we are going to Finland to compete in the World Championships. Our organization has pretty much had a big refurb. So we've got a new head coach with Chris Stone leading the way, and we've just got such a rejuvenation of energy. We've got some awesome young talent on the field who are, you know, maybe not have as much football experience, but they are athletes, and they, again, are going to be the future of the sport.
Well, stay with us, Phoebe, if you will, as this second half just gets underway with that return from the South, and the South who deferred in the first quarter will take the field looking to add to their 9-point advantage. Carl, what do you reckon is the mindset of the North? 9-0 down, they've had some troubles. Few turnovers on both sides, but how do you approach this if you are Paul Sherratt and that North team?
Well, South made the right decision to defer, didn't they? Now they come out with a 9-0 lead and they get the ball in the third quarter. The North have to make a stop here, otherwise this game gets out of hand. So you expect those big defensive players to step up now and make the plays they're capable of. We've seen it all season from these players. They've got to do it here.
So here we go then, first down for the South. Two receivers either side, and the ball is handed off on that little read play again, that zone run, and it's smothered after a pickup of 2. Got a new quarterback in for the South as well, in the shape of Alfie Burks from Bournemouth University, number 14.
They had that bottled up and then escaped to his right-hand side and managed to pick up a good game, which puts them in a manageable 2nd and 6. And this blue offence is really playing well, gelling well.
So positive yardage on first down. 2nd and 6 upcoming. We'll have a look at this play and then chat once more with Phoebe. Quarterback Burks rolls to his right this time, took to the ball and then manages to pick up a first down, wraps that ball up, which a lot of the players didn't do in the first half, and picks up their first down of the second half for the South.
Showed great speed there, but I want to ask Phoebe, because we've got her here, how that Super Bowl experience was. I was so envious of you going to the Super Bowl and doing that commentary. It was fantastic also to hear your commentary. How was that for you?
I actually wanted to know where our tickets were, Carl, to be fair. But
well, first off, can I say, I've been watching Ted Lasso, and I've been wanting to hold this mic since watching Ted Lasso, so I feel very professional right now. But honestly, Super Bowl was unbelievable. It was my first experience, just the atmosphere, the way the NFL puts on an experience, and truthfully, Radio Row the week leading up to it was unbelievable. I feel so fortunate to be a part of TalkSport.
So just jumping back to the game, unfortunately, false start there. We hear from referee Brian Yates.
Number 60 on the offence. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
So after that first down pickup on the previous play from Burks, Sam Shepherd, unfortunately, the guilty party from UWE on the false start on that first down. So it'll be 1st and 15. So yeah, I mean, I've never been fortunate enough to be at a Super Bowl. Is it as crazy as it's made out to be?
It is with all the people. I mean, on Radio Row in particular, you've just got amazing athletes. You know, Josh Allen walking around. You've got Ron Rivera. You've got all the people. You see the shows going on, the Pat McAfee show live there. Random rappers coming through, exhibit. I mean, it's crazy. And then the actual Super Bowl itself. I mean, there were more Bengals fans than Rams fans, and it was just the atmosphere. You thought you were at a Bengals home game.
Sorry to just interject again, back to the game. A great pickup by Jack Henley there, carrying Northern defenders with him for a huge pickup and another first down for the South goal.
Yeah, that offensive line is really coming to life now and beginning to dominate this North team. And you just wonder, where's that defence gone? You know, there's so many great athletes on this North defenders. They really need to beginning to use those University of Nottingham defenders, those Loughborough University defenders who are so well represented here. Really need to step up and make a play. But this blue offence really beginning to take charge.
And they're rolling at the moment in this first possession of the third period. First down just inside the 40-yard line as Burks dumps the ball off, and another great reception. Henley challenging for that MVP status at the moment with his initial touchdown in the first quarter. In fact, the only touchdown of the game so far. And he's keeping this drive alive once again. That'll be 2nd and 10.
What's that Finland, England, the Great Britain defence looking like for these Finland championships, Phoebe?
Well, we are very fortunate to have Wayne Hill as our DC, so that's an exciting rejuvenation to the defense alone. I have to say, personally, as I'm getting older, I'm moving to the back of the bus there, playing safety now, but that shows how much young, amazing talent we have up front.
Burks drops back on 2nd down, tries to set up the screen to Henley, but unfortunately it's just out of his grasp, and that'll be 3rd down and long upcoming for the South.
We enjoyed those championship games so much. Is it Finland again that are going to be the big threat for you guys?
You know what? At this one, where we've got the Worlds, you've got USA, Canada, Mexico, where we played those teams before and we finished 4th, especially to Mexico, who come out with a lot of that double pass, quick. I mean, they are almost unstoppable. So I think that's going to be a real big matchup here.
So 3rd down for Burks and the South offence going to the air. He looks to his right. He hits his man out there, who is Tom Hastings from Oxford Brookes University. It's going to be way short of the yard to gain for a first down. It'll be 4th and 3. But with a 9-point lead and 4 yards to go, you'd fancy the South staying on the field here, Cole?
You would, and they've done well on 4th. The North were doing well on 4th down beforehand, but you expect that they will go for it in this field position, because what are you going to do? Punt, not really worth doing. Field goal, too long. Best option here is 4th down. Go for it. Keep the drive alive.
Henley's proved that he's more than capable of carrying the rock and carrying defenders with him on that previous 3rd and long play where he picked up the first down yardage. So here we go. Burks back with 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and that one lone halfback who gets the carry and gets a lot of room. And I think he's going to be a yard short. That's Henley again. And a good stop made by Joshua Ademery of Coventry University, amongst others, number 47. And that'll be a turnover on downs.
So it took them a bit of time, but the North made the play they had to make on that opening drive in the 3rd quarter. As the Blue trying to build on that lead, the North coming back and making the 4th down stop, which they had to do. Now, can the North mount a drive? That's the next question.
You hear that analogy, that phrase, bend don't break defense, so often, and how much more difficult it is for an offense when you get close to that red zone, that 20-yard line where you've not got a lot of field to play with. And the North was successful in that strategy that time out. So here we go then again. North offense on the field. First down, and there's a confusion in the backfield again, and the quarterback has to just swallow that football, hold on to it and go down. This time it's Bailey Mann back in for the often troubled Liam McGovern.
Jamie Haddad coming in, University of Southampton, to make a great stop there, a sack in the backfield from his linebacker position. Sorts of plays I've seen you make many times, Phoebe, as we say goodbye to you up in the booth. Thank you so much for being with us. It's been fantastic. Always enjoy speaking to you.
Thank you guys so much. It's great to have you out here commentating. for Brit Ball means so much to everyone.
See you soon, Phoebe Schechter.
Thank you ever so much. You take care. So on third down rather, that ball falls incomplete. And the North offensive woes continue. As Bailey Mann is now in another deep hole, 3rd and 16 upcoming, to try and see if they can convert and pick up the necessary yardage to get themselves back in this one. So Mann back to the air, and he's again he's got so little time, and that's in and out of the hands of a South defender, number 45 that time, Ethan Ford from Bournemouth University.
Yeah.
Eyes lit up.
Didn't it? It's brought up 4th down against the North, not being able to do anything on that drive. And you wonder what Paul Sharrett needs to do, along with his offensive coordinator, Harry Routledge, to get this thing going. Neither of those two coaches are slouches. About some real talent on the coaching sideline.
Absolutely.
But we've got to see some energy from this North team unless this blue team's going to just step up and dominate.
And you think, here comes referee Brian Yates with a call.
Timeout, North. 8 minutes, 4 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Their first charge timeout.
Timeout called by Coach Sherritt and the North. Scratching their heads at the moment, as you can see just to the right, top right corner behind that Football America logo there, there's a bunch of North coaches trying to figure out how they're going to get themselves back into this one. 9-0 down, and you'd think that the South are going to get pretty good field position as a result of this punt as well.
Yeah, now I wonder whether they've got anything up their sleeve. I get the field position just too risky here, isn't it? It's a 9-0 game. He's still in the game. But we have seen they're in the middle of the field, so they have space if they want to run a fake. But again, maybe that field position, Matt, too prohibitive right now.
As you said, Carl, earlier on, the limited practice time they've had for offence and defence, they probably won't have practiced a great deal of fakes on special teams. Although that's going to be a flag for illegal formation, I think, illegal motion at the very least, as one of the up-backs was trying to coordinate his offensive line, and just a mess all round, I'm afraid.
Number 47 of the offense.
Yeah, and again, that blue swarming defence.
And it remains 4th down.
Apologies if you're just joining us. We haven't got access to the referees' mics at the moment up here in the booth, so apologies if we talk over referee Brian Yates when he's making the calls, but that is an illegal motion penalty call. Go for it, what you were about to say.
Yeah, just admiring the tenacity and the fierceness of this blue defence. They've been excellent, and always putting those quarterbacks and now the punters under pressure. Maybe this could be the block.
Well, they're coming off the edge, and they had an opportunity, and that ball's coming down with snow on it. A real high kick, and it takes a big North bounce, which Coach Sherritt will be very pleased about. And actually, that turns into a roundabout, a 60-yard punt in the end.
Does. Punter did really well. Again, pressure up the middle, and again, he's having to pull his foot back, which means, you sky high. The punt goes right up in the air, as you say, coming down with snow on it almost, and got a really nice bounce, though, in the end. Gives them good field position from a defensive perspective. Pins the blue back a little with some turf to defend for this North defence, and they need it.
You'd be looking, if you are defensive coordinator for the North, Pete Laird, you'd be looking for a turnover here to try and get some of momentum back, and there's a flag there from referee Yates himself. And it looks like there's 12 men on the field from my count.
Right to snap. Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field for the offence. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains 1st down.
And from lip reading referee Yates, that is exactly what the call is.
Substitution infraction, Matt. You are impressive with these calls, even though I trying not to play these games with you anymore. But you are very attentive to these referee signals.
You'll notice, Carl, that I haven't even gone with
I did notice.
Yeah, I've done that on purpose since our last fallout on the BUCS final stream, which was an incredible game. As this time, ball is handed off on another little zone run to the right-hand side of the line. This time running back is number 30.
Bolawaladi on the tackle there from University of Liverpool has made a couple of plays. That's what the North team have to do now. 2nd and 11, need to make another play to get this ball back into their offence's hands.
Yeah, Adejumobi, the running back from Imperial College London. So a loss of 1 on the play, so 2nd and 11. Quarterback for the South remains Alfie BUCS. Faces 2nd and long, hands the ball off, this time to that familiar gold helmet of Adesanya of Solent.
Great defense from Anthony Yates to just bring that extra defender into the box. Comes off the edge from that bottom of your screen. You'll pick him up again in the same formation when we come back on this 3rd down, and he makes a really nice play on the running back in the backfield. 3rd and 10. Now what can this North defense do to stop the Blue from converting here?
Obviously, this being the type of game it is, you want to give these players as much opportunity as you can, but you'd think in this sort of formation, Jack Henley is the man that the South would really need, but he's not on the field currently, and this time it's BUCS takes the run, and he's got a seam up the middle, and he gets all the way out to midfield with a really well-designed play. 1st down, South.
Explosive speed, wasn't it, there? Right up the middle for number 14. Alfie BUCS, who was just showing all that speed that Bournemouth University have had at their capacity when he's been in at quarterback, and that gives him a really nice 1st down. Of course, defense taken off balance there, so really nice play call. Jake
Traynor from Bournemouth University is the receiver subbing on during this play at the top of your screen. Ball handed off once again, and the back makes a nice cut. Starts off to the right and goes back to his left. Finds a lot of running room, does Adejumobi, and he picks up another South 1st down.
Yeah, and they're rolling again, this Blue. They're really gelling. I mean, they had that nice run up the middle for the QB, and then they're handing it off to Adejumobi, and he does a great job to this left-hand side. Another 1st down, carving up the yards.
So as this North defence tires, you'd expect to see the South piling on this pain, if you like, as BUCS once again surveys his options, drops back to pass. He looks and he goes over the middle, looking for his receiver, in and out of the hands of number 5, that man I mentioned earlier, Jake Traynor of Bournemouth University. Great coverage.
Jack Mayfield says, no way you're getting past me in the All-Star game, and manages to knock that ball right down out of his hands. It was great coverage by Jack Mayfield.
Score remains 9-0. 10 yards to gain. 2nd opportunity of 4. 2nd and 10 for the South. Good to see, though, that Coach Morgan, Andrew Morgan of GB Students, offensive coordinator for the South, is still mixing this up. Run pass as BUCS rolls to his right. He's pursued. He manages to elude the pursuing defender and then hits big number 87, Freddie Ash of the University of Exeter, who picks up 9, close to 10 yards. It'll be 3rd and an inch.
Just shows you what you can do with a tight end. There's a couple of true tight ends on this roster. You don't always have one on your squad, but a couple of all-star tight ends coming in, and Freddie Ash showing you just what a tight end can do. Put you right by the sticks in a 3rd and short situation on that comeback pass.
3rd and inches, and look who's in the backfield, Adejumobi, and you'd expect Adejumobi maybe to be getting this. Oh, that's 3rd and inches is going to end up being 3rd and 6, or maybe 3rd and 5.5.
False start. 6-0 on the offence. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Yeah, it's going to take them back. Now, they've passed on 3rd down and converted. They've run the QB option on 3rd down and converted. So as a defense, you're thinking already you're off balance. You don't know whether it's going to be passed, whether it's run. You have to defend it all, and it puts you in that situation where you're second-guessing yourself as a defensive coordinator as to what to call. 3rd and 5. Let's see if they go with the run.
Dual threat backs there of Adesanya and Adejumobi in the backfield alongside BUCS. And that's a high snap, and I think BUCS did want to give that, but that's actually worked out really well for him as he gets slung to the floor, but not until he's got enough for the 1st down. I think that was a little bit of a miscommunication, but BUCS thought on his feet, found the gap, 1st down South.
Seeing more and more of this QB option coming into the British game. And it's so effective if you run it well with a quarterback that is a genuine threat. And BUCS is that genuine threat. He's got great speed and he makes good decisions. And that was a good decision to make that 7-yard gain and another first down for this blue team.
So BUCS then with those two big backs flanking him either side. One receiver each side as well, and this time Adesanya does get the rock, and he's trundling close to the goal line. And I think he's just going to be about a yard short. No signal yet because he is taken down short of the goal line. It will be 1st and goal to the south on a barreling run from big number 27, Samuel Adesanya.
He's had a great game, Adesanya. Even when he's been dead to rights in the backfield, he's managed to make something out of it. And this time he's putting the blue all the way down to that, within that 5-yard line, all the way down to the 2. This run option is really causing this red defence problems now.
You wouldn't really fancy the chances of the North defence to keep the South out for 4 tries from the 1. Let's see how many it takes them. BUCS once again, Adesanya with the rock goes to his left and he makes the first defender miss, and he goes into the corner of the end zone for his first, but the South's second touchdown of the afternoon.
Well, they had a chance to make a play. Freddie Burton was in the right position, the Loughborough defensive back, but just couldn't bring the big runner down. And they go in right on the corner, just using all of the width of the field on that boundary side of the field to get the play in. And that puts them in a difficult position now. You have to think, what kind of offense have the North got? Can they come back from this? Because so far they've been trying to establish the running game, but the passing game has not been great for the North. Now they're going to have to go deeper into that playbook to find a play as the Blue go for 2.
They do, trying to get it out to a 17-point lead. BUCS looking to his left, then comes back to his right, lofts it over the top, and it is caught. A beautiful touch on that pass from BUCS, caught by Benjamin Shaw from the University of Exeter, which takes the score to the South 17 and the North 0.
Alfie BUCS will be patting himself on the back as he comes back. That's exactly what you've got to do in an all-star game, which is to give your very best, and he certainly has, the young lad. He's played a really spectacular game, both throwing the ball, and you saw a beautiful touch pass there, but also in the run option, showing that blistering speed that he's got and his ability to make good decisions. That was an excellent drive from Alfie BUCS.
So, can the North keep their heads? There's still a quarter and a significant amount. Quarter to go. If they can score on this drive, it'd give them hope. But they do really need not to concede any more, because 17-0 is a bit of a hole call here from the BUCS Park Arena here in Coventry for this 2022 GB BUCS All-Star game. Kick is fielded at the 18-yard line. Looking for a way through. His number looks like he's holding his back, the returner, unfortunately.
Yeah, he took a big hit from George Rhymes, again, that standout linebacker coming in and making a play on special teams.
Jason Sanders on the return there from the Sheffield Hallam University. So the tail of the tape so far. South take the lead on a 4-yard touchdown run in the first quarter from Jack Henley. Missed the conversion. We went for 2, in fact, with the same play, which was no good. There was then a field goal as time expired in the first half to put the score 9-0, and we've just witnessed the latest touchdown coming from Samuel Adesanya. A 1-yard score with a 2-point conversion, courtesy of a connection between BUCS and Shaw. And again, that South defensive front just not allowing any opportunity for anything the North has to offer to get going, as the ball is handed off to Rashawn Gardner of NTU, and Rashawn Gardner kind of looks at his quarterback as if to say, oh, cheers mate, thanks for that.
Sometimes it's tough playing running back in the heart of a big defence with all those big athletes right in the middle of it, and the North still trying to run the ball between the tackles, haven't really tried to run to the edge, but you'd think they need to get something going here, some end arounds, a reverse, some sort of trick play to get some momentum in this game.
Bailey Mann in at quarterback with some free rushes coming, and that ball is just behind his intended receiver, Daniel Padley. And in fact, in and out of the hands of the defender on that play as well. But there's all sorts of pressure that the North are generating, just bringing too many men for the South to pick up.
Yeah, they're running it from exactly. They're running it from a 3-4 front, which you're seeing both of these teams play. But they have more players at the line of scrimmage to blue than red, and they're managing to generate really good pressure. You can see the UWE helmets. So have a look at them. 3 of them on that defensive line. They're national champions for a reason. They're a heck of a defense.
They were indeed on that game that we covered a couple of weeks back, as intended pass. As pass goes over the middle from man, looking once again for that same receiver, Daniel Padley, on a skinny post, but the coverage is good. He can't get beyond the final line of that secondary, and it brings up 4th down.
So again, 4th down. Similar field position before. Again, perhaps too risky to go for it here. But as we get into the Q4, Red are going to have to start thinking about really taking some more risks than they have up to this point. See whether they can get this punt off to start with. Blue are overloading the right-hand side.
You're looking for that block punt, aren't you, Carl? Is it going to come? Oh, it was close that time. It was really close as that ball skies again. And another big cheer on the South sideline as one of their coaches makes another beautiful catch and then celebrates afterwards. And everything going the way of the South so far.
Well, so close to being blocked. I mean, it's coming so close. The guy got his hands on it and manages to get past the line of scrimmage. And yeah, these South coaches now really enjoying themselves on the sideline. Obviously feeling lots of confidence given the score as it is. And that's put them in the half of the North, that pressure on that punt.
We mentioned some thank yous earlier on in the game, and plenty more to bring you as this game continues, but we'll get back to the action now as the South find themselves in North territory already, looking to stretch their lead once again. The ball is pitched on that little jet sweep kind of play, but it's read well. Aluko from Brunel picks up a couple on 1st down, but the lateral pursuit is good from the North. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Paul Rodero, the DB for University of Leeds, showing some good speed to match that running back as he came in, and you just saw from the sides that kind of scat back very quick, lots of good lateral pursuit. So Rodero did well there.
So here comes 2nd and 8 then, as BUCS looks to lead another offensive score. As you can see, the defense on screen looking very pleased with themselves from the South. BUCS drops back to pass. Oh, and that one's battered at the line of scrimmage. So good work by the defensive line that time. Number 9 for the North, Aaron Anderson, University of Derby, may have been the player to get his hand on that football.
3rd and 7. Good position for the North to be in. Let's bring some pressure. We have to honour the fact that it could be a run, but bringing that pressure up the middle, at least you're going to shut down the quarterback if he decides to keep that ball. So bring the pressure on 3rd down. Let's see if we can get them off the field here.
It does look to me like the South are just one step ahead at the moment of their northern counterparts, both offence, defence and indeed on special teams. As BUCS receives the snap once again, and this time it's handed off, and that's going to be short of a 1st down. It's going to be 4th and 4. As the new runner there, number 32, Adam Rieker from King's College. First time we called his name this afternoon.
Yeah, just the 3 defensive linemen on that line of scrimmage for Red, but they do a good enough job there to shut down the run. Unfortunately, the field position here is 4th and 4. You can keep your offense on the field because it's low risk. So again, putting the Blue in a position where they can make another play and keep the ball.
That's exactly what they're doing. BUCS on the field with Adejumobi. Oh, and that's going to be a false start against Blue. Big number 76 that time. Ben Burrs from Exeter, guilty of marching back, and will that alter the call of...
penalty. It remains 4th down.
Sorry, will that alter the call of offensive coordinator Andrew Morgan?
It looks like they're going to keep him out there. They're just having a discussion on the sideline here, and he's sending in the play. Maybe something safe. But again, because they're in the red half with this score lead, they can afford to take the risk here on 4th down.
So Adejumobi alongside BUCS in the backfield, 3 receivers to the right. The low snap. Oh, and BUCS decides a little pooch punt there. Nobody back at home, and they're looking to try and pin the North inside their 5, which they do. And just everything at the moment that Coach Petitjean and the South touch is turning to gold. So it's going to be first down, but on their own 3-yard line for the North.
Andrew Morgan, hats off to you. What a clever little call. Just says to his quarterback, look, just take the snap, boot it over the line of scrimmage, see what we get, try not to get it into the end zone, and look at the effect of that. Great field position as we end the third quarter and enter into the fourth.
So you've got a quarterback that can throw, can hand the ball off, can run, and can kick as well.
Yeah, I wonder what you've been doing all your life when you see a guy so talented, right?
So just a few more thank yous then as we change ends at this first quarter to medical emergency provision provided by STS Medical. And special mention to Dale Bottomley and Seb Petican for their support in All-Star training venues at Leeds, Becker University and at Brunel University. All the volunteers who have supported the running of the day today: Rav Chaffer, Mrs. Elliott, Mrs. Hinton, Phoebe Schechter and Mike Wolno. Oh, Mike Wolno, got something to say to you about Mike's hat. He came in and had a chat with me earlier about his hat. Remind me. Medical support being provided through the process of the BAFA National Programme Medical Team, coordinated by Bev and Eluala. And, we won't thank those bottom ones, because that's just thanking me, you and everyone at Onside, Carl. But we do this because we love it.
Wasn't my name first on that list? I'm sure it was.
If it was, I'm quitting. Yeah, it was. I'm not happy about that. Anyway, Mike Walnut's hat. All right, remind me in a bit. First down. Start of the first quarter, in his own end zone, drops back and he puts the ball up the sideline, and he did have a man if he could have got it in the right place. Jason Sanders had beaten his defender, but unfortunately that time Bailey Mann just put the ball to the sideline instead of down the seam.
Yeah, God, that was a hell of a chance there, because receiver had really beaten his guy, and Bailey Mann just the ball came out a little skew-whiff. It's a technical term, that, Matt.
Skew-whiff.
It means the ball didn't get there in the end, but that really was a chance for North.
And they've got that opportunity because there's nobody from the defensive side. That's a lovely ball fired in. And he steps out of the tackle as the receiver, and that's a big play. I was just about to say that the South are so confident that their defensive front can get to the quarterback. They haven't got any defenders more than 8 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
The impact of that tight end position, Henry Rowland rumbling down the field. When you can catch like that, you've got good hands like that, and you've got the size to break those tackles. Those are the sorts of play you see from tight ends again and again. Really nice play from Henry Rowland with some really good pickup. Takes him to the 31.
So first down then. Mann rolling to his right, directing traffic. And he puts the ball down to the field, and risky really. He had a little bit of room to take off. Some real estate in front of him, but elected to try and go long, obviously needing points quickly. Second down.
3 defenders down there, and you don't want your eyes to be bigger than your mouth, do you, Matt, in terms of trying to get that ball down the field?
No, Carl, you definitely don't want your eyes to be bigger than your mouth. Anyway, as Carl collects himself after that expert piece of analysis, it's second down. A man this time in trouble, and he manages to elude one, but he's going to get taken down behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be another third and long. And the first defender to get there was number 45 for the South, Ethan Ford of Bournemouth, but Billy Elliott wasn't far behind either.
Just means biting off more than you can chew, Matt.
I know exactly what it meant. You didn't need to explain yourself. The viewers knew as well. Third and long then for Mann, and this offense got to happen here. Oh, great grab again. That's Rowland, the big tight end from Loughborough. And he comes to his quarterback's rescue again. A beautiful pass, put just where he needed it. And the tight end who's had 10 TDs on the season, averaging 22.2 yards per catch this year for Loughborough, is Rowland, proves really worthy once again.
He's a great player. I remember playing against him when we played Loughborough. We had to double team him the whole game because he's such a threat, Henry Rowland. And you need those sort of connections between Loughborough quarterback to Loughborough tight end to get this North offence moving, which they're doing now.
And Mann with lots of time now. Goes up top, and that's a risky throw. Oh, and that was almost intercepted. That was just a hit and hope, really, from Mann that time. There was a safety back there, sort of playing deep field.
Yeah, very lucky there not to have that intercepted. But they're down, and the quarterback man is having to take some risks to get them back into this game. They have something going here. You don't want a turnover, but at the same time you've got to balance that with the fact that you want a chance to actually be competitive in this fourth quarter.
And time is definitely of the essence. 2nd and 10. Man once again, this time back to the ground, and big hit.
Guess who?
Big hit up the middle there. Is that man? It's Mr. Rhymes once again.
It is indeed. That Bullets player's just been devastating, hasn't he?
He's got an injury on the field. But Rhymes, yeah, just when the North think they've got something going, there he is on screen. George Rhymes of UWE leading the way, leading maybe the MVP voting as well.
Certainly, he's had 2 sacks already. We've just seen a devastating hit. He's been all over the field. He's been making plays on special teams. And again, these UWE Bullet players impacting this All-Star game.
So, once we've got this brief time out for this injury, future activities and events to look forward to in terms of British American football this year. We've got the GB student partnership being developed between the NFL International Player Pathway, whereby scouts will attend trials and practices on an annual basis, searching for British talent to make that next step overseas. And once again, we've already seen and heard from GB coach Scott Rowe, who's going to be working closely with GB student coach, head coach rather, Wayne Hill, and identifying talent across both programmes that can transition both ways, both to the under-19s and over to the GB students as well. So lots going on. I mentioned also about the British American Football Coaches annual convention taking place between the 8th and the 10th of July at Keele University. The first speaker announced last month was Cody Alexander, big name invitee there. Additional speakers are going to be announced this month. However, today as part of the stream, we are pleased to announce that Mike Vanucci from the Long Island Wide Receiver Academy and Andy Ryland from USA Football are also going to be in attendance. That's the British American Football Coaches Association BAFCA annual convention between the 8th and 10th of July at Keele University. If you want updates and ticket information, go to the BAFCA website and all the social media outlets. Good event that, Carl, isn't it?
Fantastic. Spoken there a couple of times and also been over a number of years. And if you've not been to the BAFCA convention, do get along. It's often not the talks that are the most... the talks are great, obviously, I would say that. I've given a couple of them. But in terms of what goes on between the talks is actually where you get the most benefit, building the networks with the other coaches, doing some chalkboarding, talking through ideas that you might have on particular offensive or defensive schemes, and just networking with a great bunch of guys and building that family and community that we have here in British American football.
Good to see Luke Daniel there, Leeds Beckett's offensive lineman, back on his feet and being helped to the sideline. Yeah, very quickly, Mike Walnut's hat. Apparently, you didn't know what that sort of hat was, and he made great lengths to come up. It's a boonie, apparently.
A boonie, no, that's right. I remember the conversation.
And apparently that particular boonie is to do with the Sealand Seahawks, and we'll mention them with, whoa! Man gets out of one sack, but then can't get out of the way of the second and third defenders, and the man to finally take him down is Niall Ashworth, linebacker from Oxford Brookes.
Well, what do you do if you're the North quarterback? Because you're just getting battered back there on that play. You get one from the right, one from the left, you step up, and then in comes Niall Ashworth to finish it off, the Oxford Brookes University linebacker. Great defence, brings up another 4th down for this challenged North offence.
It's unfortunately looking like a bridge too far for the North as the South look to pile on the punishment, not only with that defence, but when the offence comes back on. Yeah, so Sealand Seahawks, Mike Ireland doing so much for American football in this country over the last, well, few years actually, but just recently with the Schmider Cup and all the Slate Cup competitions of Canadian football, and they look for a fake, and that one unfortunately doesn't go anywhere either, as the punter, number 89 for the North, that's Louis Nicholson Turnbull from Loughborough University, tries the impossible and unfortunately slips on his cut, and from bad to worse, because now look, the South are inside the 30 of the North.
That's the thing, you've got to take the risk. You go for the fake, but Abinquo, University of Portsmouth, and Ashworth, Oxford Brookes University, both coming in there to stifle that one. Nowhere for the punter to go.
Yeah, so back to Mike Ireland quickly. I don't think anybody brings more fun to football than Mike Ireland does. And
definitely not. That big smile and just so much energy for the game.
And his Sealand Seahawks national team, who played recently, as the ball is flung over to the left-hand side, but just down to the shoelaces of the intended receiver, Aluko. Yeah, he's Mike, like you say, big personality, big heart, and has done so much for the sport, and to get lots of people involved as well outside of the regular channels of American football in this country. So big up to Mike Island, and also to Mike Warner and his boonie.
But I am still waiting for the hat.
Oh, you're after one, are you?
Well, we discussed it.
Oh, okay. Second down.
Up to this North defence now to make a play.
BUCS on that QB keeper option, and he's still on his feet, and he's bouncing off Northern defenders all the way inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. First and goal south, and it looks like the misery is just being compounded by the red-shirted Northern players. But you've got to have your hats off to the South. They've not done yet.
Pete Laird, defensive coordinator, want to make an adjustment on his defence, see whether he can shut down this run option. So difficult to defend against, but you can if you get the defenders in the right place at the right time, and you manage to stop those inside runs first and then just take away the outside runs by the running back. But initially you want to just make sure you're focusing on stopping those plays up the middle.
So first and goal for the South. Adejumobi in the backfield, joined by Adam Rika, and BUCS is looking to pass but now tucks it. He eludes one man, he eludes the second, but then gets crunched down close to the goal line. And he's a tough little cookie, that quarterback BUCS.
Paul Rotherow again, University of Leeds, having to come in from his defensive back position to make the tackle on the running back. And he is, isn't he? He's not the biggest quarterback, you can see there on the screen, but he certainly had the speed, the quickness. He's shown good poise. He's got a nice little lofted pass that he can place the ball. It's been impressive today, Matt.
Second and goal from the 1, and you wouldn't put it past BUCS. Tucking that ball again and getting on the scorer's sheet himself, although he has got 2 reliable backs behind him in the shape of Adejumobi and Rika. And it's Rika who gets the football, but a good open field tackle in the backfield. But just slipped out of the grasp of Anthony Yates of UCL.
Can the North mount a goal line stand? Look, it's 3rd and 2 from the goal. So they need 2 yards to get into that end zone.
Or 3rd and goal from the 2.
That's what I meant to say, Matt. Thank you for the correction.
No problem, anytime. I enjoy correcting you.
But the North need to really make a stand here and defend that middle run. And then see what they can do on the edge. But the first thing you've got to do is stop that run up the middle, right in the heart of your defence. You want to just block that up, then see if you can pursue to the edge.
And I suppose little victories in a game like this is almost out of hand. A goal line stand would be one of them. Adejumobi and Rika in the backfield, and Rika this time looks to the edge, and he almost gets there, but that's a good swarm-type tackle there from 2 or 3 Northern defenders.
Yeah, that's nice by the North. Now you manage to bubble the runner outside, force him outside, and then you've got defenders with good speed that can rally to the ball. That's well defended. 4th down. Now can the North hold here?
Ange Michel Malan, number 12, and David Annie, number 90. 2 defenders there for the North, blocking Rika's path. And look where that ball's marked, Carl. It's inside the 1-yard line. You're talking 3rd and goal from the 8-inch line.
Now those defenders will want to put big guys in that A gap. You can see they're putting 2 guys in those double A gaps, so there's no chance for a sneak. Looking to force the blue to the outside.
Rika and Adejumobi again, and this time BUCS is going back to pass, and he's got a man, and it's in and out of the hands of that DB, number 44, Joe Parton from NTU, Carl. What are you teaching them there, Carl?
Well, Joe makes a great play on that one. I mean, that's a 4th down, and Joe gets the stop. So you get a turnover on the North, and that will give them some hope.
Yes.
All right, they're on their 99-yard line. They've got to go all that way, but they've got to stop. And this is one of the first. They haven't been able to do that in this 3rd and 4th quarter so far.
Like you say, moral victories. And yeah, joking aside, in terms of Parton, great, real tight coverage to be there and make that play.
And that's what we teach him, Matt.
Hard to defend. A slant on the goal line, one of the hardest routes to defend.
He's a great DB, as Joe Parton, made many plays for us, and that was another great play.
So let's see whether the offense can make any plays. On comes new quarterback, Marco Livy from Loughborough, and Livy going downfield straight away. Intended receiver was Matt Allinson of Derby.
Came out with some purpose, didn't he?
I tell you what.
3-step drop and throw it up.
How are you feeling as Marco Livy? You get first call of the game. Hey, Marco, your turn, mate. 99.5 yards to go. How do you fancy it?
I know, I like your nickname as well for the quarterback. What did you call him? Loughborough Livy?
No, Marco Livy, Loughborough University.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with Loughborough Livy. You can have that. Loughborough Livy, hands off. Oh, we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. Hands off this time, though, to try and get a little bit of breathing room on second down. And maybe picks up half a yard, if that.
You can't muck about in the backfield with this Blue defence. They're so tough, and any little slip here, any little miscue with the football, the Blue are going to take full advantage of it.
Look, Carl, look where the deepest defender is, number 23 there, Banahan of Brunel. He's literally 9 yards away as the deepest defender. So if Livy can get, and he was looking across the middle there, but he's not got any time in that end zone at all. The offensive line really struggling with this Blue wave.
Well, now you got a real tough punt. All right, so I did predict that block, and we'll see what happens here, because this
could be it.
Hard to do. You have a very truncated, for those of you that are new, you normally have about a 16, 17-yard snap on a punt. This, you've only got 11 yards for the punter to get back from the snap of that ball, and so it gives the opportunity for this defence really now just to pin their ears back and get after this kicker.
And that punter really has got to watch his heels as well, Carl, hasn't he?
You may watch it, you may see a rollout. We'll see what they can do.
So here we go then, fourth down. They're going to bring the heat, and he does get the ball away, but it's going to be a roundabout if that ball bounces the wrong way, but it doesn't. It takes a south bounce, and it takes a north bounce, my mistake, and but only just outside the red zone. It's going to be first down on the 21-yard line for the north. For the south, rather.
Yeah, again, that pressure. You know, the punter's got to pull his leg in, and the ball just sky high. We've seen it 2 or 3 times today, haven't we, Matt?
So, what works out at being a 20-yard punt, which, well, to be fair to him, he's done well, like you say, having such a short amount of yardage from the long snapper to the punter to get any kick away. You've got to give the man credit. But it immediately piles the pressure back onto the North defenders, and here comes BUCS onto the field to try and mount another assault on that North end zone. So first down. Adejamobi in the backfield alongside BUCS with 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. This latest South possession. BUCS, nice quick feet. He tries and hits his man over the middle and through the hands of his intended receiver. Diving to the right of BUCS is number 83. That's Benjamin Shaw again.
And Benjamin Shaw able to run all the way across the field there to have an opportunity for the ball. The North not being able to get pressure with this 3-man line. Really start sending some blitzes and put this quarterback under some pressure, because at the moment the Blue are having their way.
And that's the main difference. BUCS has got time. He is having to move. He's having to work the pocket left and right, keep those feet nice and nimble, but he isn't under pressure instantly. As you've said, that offensive line in Blue doing a really good job, and this time the ball is handed off, and that's a good play this time in the backfield. Just trying to get a number on that for you.
Yeah, it's a really good play by the defense there, just tracking that runner down and not giving him the edge and bringing up a 3rd and 10. Yeah, so
I think that's
the North defense doing the very best they can with poor field position.
I think that was Shutt McCabe of NTU, number 56, although I don't actually think it may well have been Freddie Burton from Loughborough. Here we go then, BUCS rolling to his right this time. He's under a bit of pressure this time, and that's, in and out of the hands of Shaw once again, and through the hands of Anthony Yates from UCL.
Good pressure there from this North team, and they're doing well with poor field position, and they've made that goal line stand to force the punt. And even though it was a bad punt, they've now got an opportunity now to stop this Blue team and get the ball back. It looks like Blue are going to go for it. You don't know whether they did kick a field goal earlier in the game, you'll remember, but they're going to go for it here. Going for glory on 4th down.
BUCS once again with Adejumobi alongside him, and BUCS is going to the air, but now has to take off and flings the ball, and it is intercepted. So a bit of another break for the North, and the intercepting player stays on his feet, and he's got daylight in front of him, one man to beat. He's got a bit of an escort as well, and he's down inside the 20 all the way to inside the 10. Goes Freddie Burton from Loughborough University.
Made a fantastic play on that. The ball was initially tipped, and Freddie Burton was there to make the interception, and then he got some blockers, didn't he? Because he looked like he was slowing down a bit, and then he found a blocker in front of him that was just able to hold off that pursuing blue defender. You know, the offense had turned into a defender, and he managed to get those additional yards. So the North, through a play of their defense, in a position where they can pick up their first score in this game and maybe make this fourth quarter a little bit more competitive. Great job.
Freddie played under 19 at the Nottingham Caesars and strong safety at Loughborough. So a nice experience and a good run back from Freddie. Nice to see his teammates rallying around him as well to try and get him as close to the end zone as we can. So first down, it looks like they can get a first down without scoring. So 1st and 10 from the 10.5-yard line. And Livy looking for Jason Sanders in the left corner of the end zone. Put it in a place where only his receiver had a chance to make that reception, but incomplete.
Yeah, it was a nice looking play. I think the ball was just thrown a little bit tad early for the receiver to get his body round onto that, but that's exactly the sort of play they need to make. Try and throw to the corners, away from this heart of this defence. Get into the end zone for your first score.
Again, look at where those defenders are. Nobody 5 yards deeper this time, so the pressure's coming. If a receiver can beat a man and Livy can get the ball out, Livy's in trouble though, and he can't do either of those things. And it's number 88. Called his name earlier, Niall Ashworth from Oxford Brookes, credited with the sack.
So Niall Ashworth's job there is just to shadow that quarterback, and if he does roll to his left, it's an immediate blitz, and he does really well there. Quarterback having to keep his eyes downfield.
Timeout North. 2 minutes 52 seconds left in the game.
So the North taking a timeout. Unfortunately, this is the way their afternoon has gone. Filled with little bits of promise and then snuffed out by the might of that South defence. And from 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line, they now face 3rd and 22 on the South 22-yard line. And it's just got to sink, hasn't it, if you're in a red jersey?
Yeah, and taking nothing away from that defense of the Blue. They've been all over these quarterbacks. Doesn't matter who they put in. They found it very difficult to break down this tough defensive line, and then those DBs there to bat balls down, make it very, very difficult for North all day long.
So shout out to those Southern defensive coaches then. Joe Busby from Royal Holloway, DB coach. Linebackers coach Tom Casson from the University of Oxford. Simon Hatcher as the Livy drops back again. He's got a man this time, but that is, didn't put it outside enough for his receiver. His receiver didn't know that ball was up in the air and therefore couldn't adjust. But here's a flag, and here's referee Brian Yates.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 4 defence, half distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So that is a break for the North, as the South are called for roughing the passer. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down call. So still life.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Livy did a good job on that play, just getting the ball out. But again, his angle was slightly wrong. It had a receiver in the end zone that was certainly going to break to that end zone, but just not enough power behind that football. But the personal foul gives them a 1st and 10 back where they started on their 10-yard line.
Timeout. South. 2 minutes 47 seconds left in the game.
Timeout called by the South, and then gives us an opportunity to go back to those defensive coaches for the South. Oliver Kent, linebackers coach, who we spoke to earlier on. You saw that interview at half-time. We've then got Jay Solenki from Brunel University, DB coach. Defensive line coach Rob Smith. Defensive assistant Mark Walker. And not forgetting defensive coordinator who needs significant amount of credit this afternoon. James Wilford from the University of Birmingham. What a great job he's done with that defensive unit, Carl.
Certainly has. Great coach and a friend of Onside Productions. Been with us on a couple of our broadcasts, and he's done a really nice job today, as James.
Been a really quick game this as well, Carl. We've just ticked past 5 o'clock. So in real time, only 2 hours since kick-off, and we're coming to the business end of this All-Star game, this Football America GB Students North-South All-Star game here from the BUCS Park Arena in Coventry, as Livy takes the ball up the middle himself, and he could be going in, and he does. Untouched, no flags. Touchdown, North. Marco Livy from Loughborough University.
Well, anything you can do, Alfie Burks, I can do too, says Livy, and runs a running out option right up the middle, right in the heart of that blue defence. It's the first time they've seen it, and it's successful. So the run option has been the play to go to, certainly in this All-Star game, getting those aggressive defences off balance, and the North get the first score.
If you were with us on Onside Productions a couple of years ago, you may remember Marco Livy being the Under-19 National Championship winner with the London Blitz. It's his first year at Loughborough University, started 2 games, and in those 2 games, 400 passing yards and 6 TDs. So a bright future for Marco, and caps off what has been a disappointing afternoon at the moment, as the kick is up, and the kick is good. So a 10-point deficit then for the North, but looking much more respectable and no more than they've deserved, really, Carl. 17-7 to the South.
Yeah, and you'll remember it came off that interception from that Loughborough player, Freddie Burton, running that ball all the way back. So the defence making the opportunity for the offence, and then Livy taking the ball in. So a team effort to get on the scoreboard for the North. And let's see what they can do with it. They've got a trick up their sleeve to get this ball back. Maybe an onside. Maybe some sort of special play on defence to get this ball back. Well, it does look like they might be lining up for that onside kick.
They are huddling up. They've got to try something, Carl. There's no point not. You know, the defence has stifled the South offence the last 2 drives, that goal line stand, and then stopping them when they had first down on the 20-yard line. So have a look at the formation. 5 men, and it's a real quick kick. And that ball is well covered there that time. Hard to do, bounced up off the turf there. Credit to Ethan Ford from Bournemouth University, the linebacker who manages to drop on that football. There's a flag, though, on the play call, just near this near side, and it's more than likely going to be against the kicking team, which will be declined. Here we go.
Offside. Number 4, the receiving team. It's a 5-yard penalty. Retake the kick.
Well, actually, my mistake. It's ordinarily on a kick like that, you'd expect it to be legal formation, but it was actually offside against the return team, so they will kick again and give themselves another opportunity.
There you go. They were a little bit too keen to get hold of that onside kick that time. So a bit better field position and another opportunity to see whether they can run the same play. I like the fact that it takes the receiving team by surprise, but you're just after that lucky bounce that will give you what you need to retrieve the ball.
So yeah, it looks like similar situation. What happened last time is one of those men on the front line wasn't a full 10 yards back when the ball was kicked, and therefore offside. And there's a referee just out of your shot on the bottom left of the corner of the screen who's looking for that to make sure that everyone's back. And this time it's a little squib kick. He's going to have time, the returner. Fields it to his 15-yard line. He's got a little bit of room outside this right-hand side. And that's well tackled by Josh Penny, DB from Durham. As the returner is Eluko, receiver from Brunel. And the South will get the ball again. But if the North can generate some sort of turnover here, you never know.
Yeah, I think the kicker there, Tom Lovett's just trying to get the ball into a gap on the field rather than actually give an opportunity for the kick returner to actually make a catch. But kick returner coming up making a nice catch, and it means that in the end it's good, decent field position for Blue as they start this drive. Still in the lead, that 17-7 lead from the South. North just scored with a little bit of momentum, but the Blue have been playing really well on offence as we come to this 1st and 10.
So it is 1st and 10, and this time Burks keeps that ball himself again, follows his big offensive line, makes a spin move just inside the halfway line, and then the ball is stripped, but the whistle has been blown.
That's such a shame for the Reds, because that ball was stripped out, and now we've got a flag come out as I think it was 24 that maybe he's going to be called on the flag. He was frustrated that he didn't get the rip out and the fumble.
Paul Rotheroy was that man who gained possession of the ball, but after the after the play had been whistled dead. So let's have a listen to referee Brian Yates and see which way this flag is going. Still debating with his colleagues.
It's either on blue for batting the ball out of 24's hands, or 24 has said something about the fact he didn't get a chance to get the strip.
Here we go.
After the play, we have unsportsmanlike conduct against the head coach of the South, punching the ball out of the player's hand. A 15-yard penalty will be taken back, but it will still be 1st and 10 after penalty.
So, as you will have heard there, that is against the South head coach, Maxwell Petitjean, for obviously something that was said that their officiating crew wasn't fond of. I thought for a minute, Carl, you were going to say it's either on the blue team for something or the red team for something. And I thought, well, that's a pretty safe bet, mate, there. I like your with the Grand National going off.
Would have been up to the normal standard of my commentary.
With the Grand National going off in about 4 minutes' time, actually, from Aintree, it would have been a pretty safe bet, that one. But here we go then. It's 1st and 10 for BUCS, and that looks like being against the South again. Maybe taking their foot off the gas a little bit with this 10-point lead in the 4th.
Yeah, just lost focus. And when you have a penalty against your head coach,
still 1st down.
Sorry to speak over the ref there. When you have a penalty against your head coach, you do lose a little bit of focus, a little bit of concentration. And so 2 big mistakes from the blue puts them in 1st and 15.
So we're going to have to start thinking soon, Carl, in the region of MVP for this game. And we've obviously mentioned George Rhymes, a couple of times. There's a little screen pass. Little screen pass goes to Adam Rika from King's College, but he's met immediately by Anthony Yates of UCL.
Yeah, the UCL defender there, Yates, makes a really nice play.
Officials timeout. That is the 2-minute warning. There's 2 minutes left in the game. The exact time is 1 minute 58 seconds.
So 1 minute 58 remaining in this game here, and it's 2nd and 20 for the South. The North have got the tails up at the moment. Obviously 2 minutes to gain 10 points is a massive ask in anyone's.
They have, but they just need the one score. They need to hold them here, use their timeouts well, get the ball back, then get that onside if they can. So let's see what this North defence can pull out of the bag. Already had a nice interception return. Let's see if they can get another turnover.
So BUCS continues on offence at the quarterback position, and this time goes to hand it off again, and Yates makes another great tackle in the backfield. And Yates has come to play in this last few minutes.
Yeah, they've just changed their formation slightly on defence. Pete Lard making the adjustment just to make sure that Yates is on that line of scrimmage. So if they try anything wide, he's going to be there to make that tackle. He makes a really nice job in the backfield. 3rd and a taxi ride now. Long way to go.
And not only is this significant for the fact that they could end up getting the ball back, but field position as well. Those last 2 plays, tackles for losses. And that could be in the favour of Marco Livy and the North offence should they see the field again. As on comes big number 87, that Freddie Ash, that tight end we mentioned earlier on. You would have thought to be a blocking tight end rather than a receiving tight end at this stage in the game with a 10-point lead. BUCS would look to run out the clock and keep the football on the ground, you would have thought, because an incomplete pass will stop play, and that will obviously favour the North at this stage of the game. So here we go then, BUCS and the South offence back to work once again.
Gone to that 3-man defensive line.
Oh, he's looking to hand off, and BUCS now wraps the ball, and he's looking to try and get the edge, and that's a good tackle on the outside. Number 15 from Beckett. That's Alex Littlewood, linebacker from Leeds Beckett.
Yeah, number 4, Rashalan Nayana Raj as well for University of Leeds coming up to make the tackle for the North and helping there on the edge. And it was a saving tackle in the end because that quarterback, I've called his name a number of times, Alfie Burke's got such speed to that edge. So they do a good job on 4th down. All right, Here's where we need that block punt.
It could be a last opportunity of the day, Colf.
Overload to the right-hand side. 27, wondering which side to block.
Confusion for the North. Looking for that blind. It's going to be a safety by the looks of things here. That's going to go for a save, and it might not be worse. That's a touchdown. Touchdown. Better than a block punt. It's a touchdown for the North off a muffed punt, a high snap over the head of the kicker, Charlie Smith. And then Charlie Smith tries to pick it up and hopefully maybe just concede 2 points, but he concedes 6. Wow, this one's not done yet.
I said it'd be a block. Well, I was close. Something was going to happen on the punts. We'd seen it all the way along these teams under pressure. In the end, it was a muff snap, and we'd really disappointed. Will number 22 for the Blue,
Charlie Smith,
who he was kind of trying to be cool about it and calm, wasn't he? Waiting for the defense to get there, and of course, it was immediately knocked out. And a touchdown, so a big mistake.
And as if by
they're
magic,
going to come in and see whether they can kick the extra point.
Wayne Hill makes his way into the commentary booth, as if by magic there, looking very smug and pleased with himself, as if he's orchestrated something there. But now there's only 4 points in it.
More shenanigans. The snap goes straight to the kicker.
So, and there's a flag. There is a flag on that, and that will probably be a personal foul against number 21 for the South. That's Shaquan Braithwaite from Brunel. Let's listen to referee Brian Yates.
Intentional grounding of a forward pass by the offence. As the penalty includes loss of a down, the try is over.
So it's the other way, intentional grounding called.
Yeah, he was just trying to get rid of the ball rather than take the loss of yards. So not sure whether it will disrupt the game too much, that one. We'll see what impact it will have on the kickoff. And, of course, the North now needing to go for that onside to give themselves a chance. But a one-score game, 4 points in it.
And this has almost turned since that head coach penalty call. Maybe he just got in their heads a little bit. Maybe a little bit of complacency set in on the side of the South, having that 17-0 lead. Now the North have scored 13 unanswered. We'll have a little bit of belief, no matter how slim that is, as we're in the final minute or so of this game.
Definitely lost a little bit of focus, have the Blue.
This is the great thing about this sport in general, Carl. You never know. One play here or there, they call it a game of inches, don't they? And one play here or there can swing that momentum.
And you can't lose your focus when you've got so many great athletes on the field. It's an all-star game. Plays can make players all over the field.
And the confusion there on the Southern special teams, forcing them to take another timeout. The special teams coordinator
57 seconds left in the game.
Heads onto the field. Greg Freeman from the University of Birmingham, now being asked to leave the field. So, yeah, a little unsettled on the South at the moment, which gives the North a bit of extra time to think about how they're going to go about this crucial kickoff.
Well, the North know what they're going to do. I think Greg's saying, well, I want a hands team on the field. I want my best receiving players in that first and second line of that receiving team. So he's swapping players in and out to try and get those people that have the best ball handling skills on the field.
Tom Hastings, number 10, comes into the centre of the field there for linebacker Karar Gassam. You'd hope a receiver has slightly better hands than a linebacker, but once again, these linebackers today, no slouches in coverage, and it looks like once again they're going to be aiming for, well, it's just a little bit, and that ball is fun, but it's on the deck, and the North have got it! The North have come up with that football, would you believe this? And they give themselves another opportunity, and Marco Livy could end up being a hero for the North, but he has 50 yards to go.
I tell you what, there's so many mental errors in this game, isn't it? It's not so much great plays, but it's just they've lost focus, lost concentration, have the Blue. And I think, we talked about the impact of the head coach penalty and losing a bit of focus, and it brings the North right back into this game. But so many times you've seen them standing over the ball in the hands, dropped in the end zone, now dropped on the onside kick. Just pressure building, loss of concentration gives the North a chance now.
Now Marco Livy remains on the sideline. Looks like it's man back on the field now. Starting quarterback who's under pressure, and he's got a man out to the 50, and he needs to get himself out of bounds, which he does, and that's first down North. And Bailey Mann back on to orchestrate this drive, and they start off with a good solid pickup, not only picking up a first down, but also getting out of bounds and stopping the clock. Game on.
Jack Porteous, Sheffield Hallam University, making a nice play, and Livy making a really calm play, but Porteous doing a good job turning around and making sure he secured that ball and up the sideline.
Well, what an end to this one here from the BUCS Arena in Coventry. 17-13, the North looking to take the lead as this time Mann's in trouble. He escapes one tackle. He puts the ball over the middle and it's intercepted! And this could go back for 6 and put the icing on the cake. One man to beat. There's a flag on the play. The tackle is almost made. It's offloaded to number 22. And that's Wakefield, who finds himself in the end zone, but there is a flag on the play, and that's more than likely going to be an illegal block. But the interception by Akwazi Banahan of Brunel University, who then takes it 60 yards, offloads to Wakefield of University of Birmingham. But I think this is going to come back for an illegal block, is it? Here's referee Brian Yates.
During the return, holding by the intercepting team. They will keep the penalty. After penalty, first down.
So the turnover will stand, but it's a holding penalty against the South on the return. Wow.
Banahan making an absolutely critical interception just when the Blue needed it to shut out any hopes of this North team coming back. And I think it would have been out of bounds on the tackle, but always smart to try and offload it, as you say, Matt, and try and get it in the end zone. Well, the blue defense stepping up where the offense have been making some mistakes mentally. The defense said, all right, well, let's focus in, let's get this ball, and it's exactly what they do.
But that will be that, because victory formation is in the building, with BUCS just needing to take a couple of knees as the North can't stop the clock anymore. And this could be the last snap of the game as the players begin shaking hands. What a final quarter that has been, Carl. From a 17-0 deficit, all credit to Paul Sherratt and the North, as that is the ball game. The South victorious in the 2022 BUCS GB All-Star game, sponsored by Football America here in Coventry. The South win by a score of 17-13. Pick the bones out of that, Carl.
Well, it was all South, wasn't it? It was all South going into the fourth quarter, and you thought the North really needed something to get some momentum for themselves. And it meant in the end that it came down to some real mental errors by the Blue that got the North back into the game, with the interception by the North coming all the way down to the 10-yard line, and then Livy managing to get an opportunity to get in himself off the QB option. Then the pump mistake, and of course all the problems with the onside kick that Blue had as well, trying to secure that ball. But finally it was that interception from Banahan, who was the defender for the Blue, that gave them the opportunity to shut down any more opportunities that this North team might have had.
Well, whilst we watch the players meet and greet on the halfway line, Carl and I are going to take a short break to get ourselves down onto the field so we can bring you reaction and interviews with players, coaches, hopefully with Wayne Hill as well, to get his thoughts on this, what has been a spectacular game. Started off slow, but a great end to this All-Star game.
Very exciting end. Let's see if we can get some feedback from the players and the coaches.
We will rejoin you in around about 3 minutes' time. Don't go away. Well, Cole and I have hot-footed it down to the sideline from our commentary position. Cole, what an incredible game.
It was, wasn't it, in the end? It was all, we thought it was going to be all South. At 17-0 lead they rush out to. And then the North comes storming back with a few critical mistakes from that South team. Just mental errors, really, and just balls that were muffed.
Absolutely. We must just clear up one thing. Unfortunately, our roster had number 23 as the wrong player, so we've got to give Eddie Onamedi credit there for that last interception and also the other plays that he made during the game. A great game and a good interception to seal that win this afternoon, Cole.
Really was important that he made that interception. So the North had come off that onside kick and were driving, had the momentum, and he really had the focus and the mental stature really to make that play and shut down the North. So we want to give him credit where credit's due.
So just a brief recap then. First quarter we saw, and then just before the half we saw the South extend that lead on a field goal as time expired. Then it was more South in the second half as well, as we got a second touchdown of the day in the shape of Onasashi.
Adesanya.
There you go, that's the man. Didn't have that in front of me. And then we thought, well, that's game over. But no, back came the North.
They did, and it was a really nice interception by number 30 of the North that brought them into the goal line. And then they started to run with that QB option. They started to start putting this North out of balance, and it was Livy that took it in for the touchdown. And then, of course, you had that critical error, Matt, didn't you?
Absolutely. And before you know it then, onside kick. And would you believe it? The North get an opportunity to go and win it. But Onamedi, man of the moment, steps up and seals the game there at the end.
And that touchdown coming on the fake punt, the snap, the muff snap. Punter running into the end zone, tries to pick it up, drops it, touchdown for the North. That gave the excitement on the onside kick. But again, it was those mental errors that brought them back in. But eventually the South come on top, and I think that's probably deserved.
I think so. I mean, I think overall a great advert for the game. I think a bit of a slow burner in terms of the game itself, and you kind of think into the third quarter, the South have got to the point where, okay, have the North got it in them to mount a fight back? But they proved, Paul Sherritt in his offence, proved the fact that they could do that.
They could do that towards the end there, but I think it was the blue that really showed them their class today, both on both sides of the ball. The UWE Bullets on defence were outstanding. There were 8 UWE athletes, and we called them all, I think, probably during the game. Billy Elliott and others really making great plays all over the ball. That South defence was really tough for the North to break down. But eventually, the North did find themselves into the end zone, and credit for their defence as well for making the plays that they needed to when they needed to, which was in that fourth quarter to make the game close.
Great scenes behind where Carl and I are standing currently as Wayne Hill addresses all the players, all the coaches, and currently in the trophy presentation as well. And what a good scene that is, Carl. Getting all the players together, North and South. Obviously the North will be disappointed, but they should be proud of those efforts in that very final period.
Absolutely, and Wayne Hill just addressing both of those teams there. He'll be very proud of the spectacle that this puts on, because it really is a showcase that these athletes know each other up and down the country. They get an opportunity to play each other year in, year out during the time that they play university ball, and they'll have eyed each other up over the course of the season and really been looking forward to this game. It's a celebration of all that's great about BUCS American football and all that's good about American football across the country, and Wayne Hill, I know, will be very proud of the way this one's turned out.
And what is the end of one American football season in the UK transfers pretty quickly into the start of another tomorrow.
It does. There's no let up. It never stops.
So up and
American
down the country,
football all year round.
Up and down the country. If you've enjoyed what you've seen of BUCS American football this last few months, then the British National League starts tomorrow in earnest, with games up and down the country covering the whole summer and culminating in the national final later in the year. And all being well, we'll be able to see that on a stream near us somewhere too. So we don't get to call it, Cole, but if you had to, MVPs this afternoon, who were the candidates?
There were two kind of candidates that stuck out for me. I think one of them was George Rhymes, who was fantastic, the UWE Bullets defender who had 2 sacks and was just devastating as a defender all the way along, really led the UWE Bullets. But I was also very impressed by the UWE quarterback, who I thought was fantastic today and made plays with his arm, played with his feet, and just made great decisions. All as a young guy and a really promising career ahead of him.
I think Henley as well deserves a shout, the running back for the South, who well scored the opening touchdown and was critical in some of the first downs and pickups that he got on some of the plays throughout the game as well. So it remains to be seen who that MVP is, as Wayne Hill.
What, you
now,
mean we don't get to decide?
I don't think we do today. I think it's Wayne Hill's baby all day this afternoon, as he's now looking to make the presentation behind him out to the winning captains of the South. And out they come to collect that impressive trophy, all 4 of them. Great photo opportunity there, and just the infancy of some of these players' careers as Coach Petitjean stands with Wayne Hill. They know each other very well from their University of Birmingham days. And I say, looking at that batch of players there, Carl, I know you'll be very proud of your Renegades that are out there as well from NTU.
We are. We had 8 guys out there, and they did and show themselves proud as the trophy lifted aloft by Yardley number 75, the South captain. Well deserved today. They jumped out to that 17-0 lead, and they deserved the win. They were stronger than the South today, than the North today, rather visibly.
From your capacity as a coach at university level, where is university football in the UK currently? Is it in a strong position to move forward? Is it, what are your thoughts on the level?
Yeah, I think it's been fantastic. And the 2 games that we've covered, the national final, which would, arguably the greatest game of university American football play that's ever been played in this country. And we had the honour of covering it.
Indeed.
When you see the quality of that game, and then you come to an opportunity to see this game, we really are privileged, aren't we, in terms of the opportunities we get to commentate on this stuff. But and then to see all of the players on the field today, and there's so many pathways now for these players in terms of the NFL, in terms of the CFL interest. Had one of my own players, David Izinian, managed to get to the CFL rather, and he's making a real mark on the game. There's so many opportunities now that there wasn't for these players. So great job by everyone in making this game available, and it is our quarterback.
Yeah, we can confirm there. Sorry to interrupt you, Carl, but the quarterback for the South, BUCS, is the MVP of this game, and I think well deserved the way he orchestrated that second half for the South.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Every time he touched the ball, you were very excited to see what he could do, whether he was running up the middle or trying to get to the edge. And then he had some really nice scrambles out to his right, out to his left, lofting the pass beautifully. Really great to see. Fully deserved.
Even had a punt.
He did.
Even had a punt. So the boy could do it all. And very bright future there, as it appears. We're going to try and get a word, I think, with Wayne Hill at the very least, and maybe get a word with that MVP, as well as maybe even one of the coaches from the South as well on this victorious day. But the temperature is dropping. I'm feeling a little shivery. You've got a lovely...
Should have brought your coat,
I should have brought my coat. Well, I did bring my coat, but it's upstairs. But what has been a real fantastic spectacle again. I think for me, we didn't get your block punt. But
we were close.
But we were close, and I think the block punt was replaced by the safety, or the muff, if you like.
Yeah, that's right. There were a few errant snaps, weren't there? The North suffered from a little bit, but then that key one to the punter. And he was trying to be kind of cool in the end zone and pick it up, wait for the defence to get there, just pick it up and then step out the back of the end zone. What actually happened was the defenders, because they're so quick and fast, got there and knocked the ball out, and they were able to recover in the end zone for the touchdown. You don't mess about in your own end zone, Matt. No. You've got to just get down on the ball or get it out the back of the end zone as quickly as you can.
I think as well a word for Marco Livy, the quarterback who came in the fourth quarter on his own half-yard line in his end zone, and then actually performed admirably in that fourth quarter, led a couple of touchdown drives. Like you say, there was the interception from
Benabi.
Yeah, exactly, that set up that first touchdown.
Yeah.
But Marco Livy came in and, being a young quarterback, showed some promise, and ex-national champion with the Blitz. I think there's a bright future for him.
Yeah, and we played against him as well, so NTU, and he is a tough quarterback to play against, and Loughborough had a lot of athletes down here that really showed themselves well. Livy was one of those, yeah, really good quarterback.
Well, I'm just going to take a break for a moment, just so we can see if we can grab the likes of Wayne Hill and any of the coaches, maybe even the MVP, and we'll get back to you in a couple of minutes so that we can try and bring you some reaction from this All-Star game this afternoon here in Coventry.
I'm here with Andrew Morgan, who's the offensive coordinator today for the South, the winning South. And I'm here with Alfie BUCS, who's the MVP. Alfie, first, let's come to you. Congratulations on your MVP. How are you feeling?
Honoured, to be honest.
Pick your mic up,
Sorry,
Alfie.
honoured, to be honest. It's my first year at university, so hopefully come back and do the same again next year. But yeah, it's been an amazing day and a great experience, and I'm looking forward to what the rest of the year holds, to be honest.
We were so impressed by your play today, and you managed to do it all today, didn't you? I mean, Andrew had you running the ball and the run options.
Can only thank Coach for trusting me.
Yeah, then he had you passing the ball. Beautiful touch on the passes as well. And then, of course, he asked you to punt as well. So we thought, wow, there's multi-talent.
That one wasn't on me. I didn't know that one was happening, to be fair.
Again, another first time, but we got through it, and it worked, I think. I think it was onto the 1 yard line, so...
And how's your season been as far as your university team's gone?
Good. So I'm at the Bournemouth University Bobcats. We went 8-0, won the final. A massive shout out to all the players down at Bournemouth. They've helped me out this year, transitioning from 7-man to 11-man football. This is my first year 11-man. So yeah, again, honoured to have a team like Bournemouth to support me.
Well, really congratulations on that. Andrew, how proud are you of Alfie?
It's been really great. I had no idea that he's just come from 7 to 11 because obviously we've had the trials, we've had camps all the way through, and he's just acclimated himself really well into it all. And we knew that we had confidence in him in the second half. Alex started the game, then we turned it over to Alfie, and we knew we weren't going to miss a beat on offence.
And congratulations to you, because I was up in the booth thinking, you know, oftentimes these are defensive struggles, because you don't have a lot of time with these offences, but you really came in and did a good job. So impressed by the way the offence was gelling, the quarterbacks were playing, running backs were making plays. So what's the secret of getting it done so quickly?
It's coaches. It's the coaches that we have. I'm really lucky that we had a positional coach and a backup across the board on the quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, O-line, and there were times where I would just be able to let them run their practice. They were running Zoom calls in the weeks as well. We've done so much work building up to this. My offensive coaching staff have been fantastic across the board.
And what sort of challenges did that North defence bring today for you?
Well, we knew that both defensive lines were going to be a challenge. We've been you saw it in the game. We've been battling that defensive line in our camps and not getting much from them. So we knew that the North were going to bring that kind of stuff as well. Coach Laird was playing a lot of deep coverage, so we knew we weren't going to be able to pass it deep. We tried, didn't quite work, but we kind of like got the outside run going, we got the quarterback run going, and those kind of things helped us to gel a lot. I'm still really annoyed that we were like a half yard away and we didn't punch it in at the end, so that bothered me a little bit. But yeah, we left some points out there for sure.
But spoken like a true offensive coordinator, always wanting more points. What's happening with you and GB students as well? Tell us about that.
It's exciting now because we've obviously got all of these North players, all of these South players. We're going to bring them together in the winter for a camp, hopefully building towards an international friendly next year, and then in 2024 World Student Championships. So fantastic. Yeah, the future's bright based on what we've seen today.
So much to look forward to. Thank you very much, Andrew Morgan. It's great to speak to you. And Alfie, congratulations. We look forward to commentating some more on some of your games. Really enjoyed seeing you play today and look forward to what's coming next for you.
Awesome.
Let's see if we can go to a quick break and then we'll see if we can rustle up some more interviews here at this All-Star game.
How long? How long do you want? So there we go, Carl. A great end to a great day of football here at Coventry. We're running out of time rapidly. We were hoping to bring you a couple more interviews, but time has got the better of us. Final thoughts, Carl, before we sign off.
Great spectacle. So proud of everyone involved here, being part of British American football and BUCS football, and seeing all the great athletes on the field, all the great coaches, and just great organisation. Teams looked great, played great, and it was a spectacle as well that we can all be proud of.
Absolutely. So, with a score of 17-13 in favour of the South Allstars here this afternoon from Coventry, we'll bid you farewell. Remember, the British National League's kick off tomorrow, so there's going to be football going on up and down the country all summer long. Get involved with your local club if you can, if you want to. There's so many opportunities, whether you're coaching, helping, whatever you're doing, but get involved with this great sport of ours across the UK. Big thanks before we finish. Big thanks very quickly, Mr. Hill. We're very, very running out of time.
So
big thanks to Mr. Wayne Hill, who's obviously courtesy. Anything to say just before we go, Wayne?
Yeah, just thank you to you guys for putting on a great show today with the stream, but also for the players and the coaches. They put a lot of effort into this event, and just a great show at the end. So really looking forward to kind of how we can develop this on further, and thank you all very much.
Well, absolutely. And thank you,
well done,
Wayne Hill,
well
obviously
done.
BAFA president, responsible for today. Once again, we thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the stream. We will see you on a football field somewhere in the near future. From Carl Walkinshaw.
Thanks, Matt. Great to be with you. See you soon.
And you and myself, Matt Walker. Have a very good evening. Goodbye.